Hello and welcome back to the WGL APAC. If you're just joining us, you missed Dark Wolves take out a win over Coalition. So it was looking to be a 5-0 sweep. Then Coalition had a little bit of juice left to play with there. Got 2 rounds in, but it wasn't meant to be. Cliffs was the deciding matter.
Yep, that is right. Simple as that for the Dark Wolves. And look, TCZ, we did see them do quite well on Muravanka against the Dark Wolves. Exactly, but they weren't quite able to carry it through. And no TCZ specials, which, again, look, you think, I was thinking, you know what, I was really looking forward to a TCZ special. But look, they ended up that one pretty well. They gave it a good old crack, and that's the next best thing, you know. So that was good as well. But, of course, Meltdown coming up next, taking on our friends from Team Efficiency.
I'm super excited for this game. After the victory that Meltdown had yesterday over Karen Tiger, taking it out in the clean 5-0 sweep, coming into this game against Team Efficiency, I think they have the confidence, the momentum, and pretty much everything they need behind them to finally take a victory over Efficiency, because that's one of the teams that have been eluding them as of late. EL and Efficiency, the only 2 teams that Meltdown haven't been able to get the victory over. This is their time to do it, and I think they've got it in them tonight.
Yep, simple as that. I think so as well. I mean, look, it's gonna be tricky, right, for both of these teams to pull off a win here, because like you said, Meltdown, you know, have been looking really strong. Yesterday, they did 5-0 that match, but traditionally, it's been a little bit mixed between these 2 teams. Yeah. Obviously, the first time these 2 guys played, it was a 5-1 to Team Efficiency. The second time they played 5-3 to Meltdown. So, look, it's definitely not clear-cut here. And Team Efficiency, although they faltered a little bit in their Friday match against the Horsemen, 5-4, that one went out to tiebreaker. I feel as though Team Efficiency in this one, they probably can come back. That was, in my eyes, just a little bit of a blip. T should be able to come back into this one, you know, assert their dominance over Meltdown. I think their last loss against them, 5-3, was a bit of an anomaly. Yep. So my bet is 5-3 for Team Efficiency.
Look, I get where you're coming from, but unfortunately, Alex, you're wrong. Meltdown are going to come into this game super powerful and super strong. Such a great lineup of tankers who have been on such a rise lately that I'm really I'm interested to see where their skill ceiling stops. It just seems like every week they're getting better and better, showing no signs of slowing down. And this is going to be the real test for these guys here tonight against Efficiency.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Meltdown here, definitely going to be a big tester here for Team Efficiency. And look, we look at their lineup. I mean, they don't have a lineup quite as big as some of the other teams in the competition, but they have a lot of very skilled players. Vicetone, Mr. Batchat, he's got over 22,000 public games in a Batchat. You know, you've got Pink Pig, amazing player. Definitely expect him to be up the top of the damage dealt charts in this game. You know, Cry as well, Blast. They've got a very, very solid lineup here at Meltdown. And honestly, I think it has almost held them in a way that they've had to kind of, you know, trim down their lineup a little bit throughout this season.
Yeah, and of course the other side of the battlefield is going to be Team Efficiency, currently sitting in the number 2 spot. The only team who's been able to take it to EL all season long. These guys are a force to be reckoned with, and they've shown time and time again just why that is the case. I wonder who'll be playing for them tonight, because we have seen them play with a few different rosters here in the past.
Yeah. Look, we probably won't be seeing Bolognese here. Obviously, Dexter, I don't really think Dexter has been... Has he been seen this season maybe once or twice, but very, very infrequently.
I feel like everyone's had a guest appearance at least once or twice.
Yeah, exactly. A guest appearance when they needed to, exactly. That's why they have such a big roster. And they're all very good tankers, you know. We look for Granovsky, of course. He's been actually rising in the damage dealt kind of charts this season. So this week...
he's been a bit of a sleeper, someone that we've known to keep our eye on Granovsky. Then all of a sudden he comes back in, but another huge player, JT, as well, just on the up and up. And
exactly. It's interesting, though. You say on the up and up, and funnily enough, JT has actually been going on the down and down recently in terms of his average damage dealt.
I know, which is so strange considering the meta that we're playing and where the damage averages are rising.
Yeah, exactly. But at least compared to Granovsky on Team Efficiency has been doing well. But JT is going to be taking on Blast in our head-to-head here.
Head and shoulders above in that total damage dealt, though.
Yes, absolutely.
And the average damage as well.
And the average damage. So we can see that the average accuracy, 72.9%, roughly the same between these 2 guys. But JT just has a little bit of an edge
Yeah.
in the actual damage dealt. So we can see that on average he damages more tanks than Blast as well with that average damage statistic. But look, honestly, looking through all these statistics, you know, you get a bit of an indication. You can say, okay, these two guys are good, but it is very tricky to say, okay, Blast is definitely worse than JT because he's got lower stat numbers. Exactly, and it all depends on, you know, your team, because obviously if the rest of your team generally lose games, then that's going to mean, of course, that you deal less damage, etc.
And yeah, efficiency have just been playing phenomenally all season long, whereas with Meltdown, it took them a little bit of while to build up that speed, and only in the recent second half had they really been shining through as one of the top contenders in the region. But efficiency, they just came out of the gate strong and really have only shown the ability to falter a few select times.
Yeah, so look, I'm definitely hoping Team Efficiency here can kind of jump up to their usual selves and really take it to Meltdown. I'll be very interested to see if we do see any different tank picks coming out from them. You know, again, I keep on going on about it, but I would love to see the start of some counter picks towards the mouse coming in.
It's only a matter of time.
Exactly. We've had the mouse in for a proper week. We've seen, you know, other regions, they're starting to deal with it. Obviously, TCZ even can, you know, deal with it.
They can
like
beat
they did
EL with
yesterday.
it.
Exactly. So
It works, right?
that's what I want to see this game, because I have a feeling at Meltdown, you know, again, we'll probably be seeing lots of mouses from them. Team Efficiency, no doubt. We're going to see mouses from both teams, but
Efficiency were the people to run the 5 mouse on proc, so...
Well, exactly. But look at that. We're not going to be having proc as our first 2 maps, at least. Might be having it later on. So Cliff and Mines vetoed out there for Meltdown and Team Efficiency, respectively.
The two
pretty
quick
good.
ones out the way.
Look, Meltdown, they actually aren't bad on Cliff, but they just decided to take it out anyway. I think they're just not comfortable on it.
A lot of variables
Mines
on Cliff.
Veto for Team Efficiency. They do like to veto Mines quite a lot, even though I actually think they're not too bad about it. But, you know, they're not comfortable on it, so take it out. Ruinberg first pick there for Meltdown. Not a bad pick. Maybe I would have liked to have seen Steps, but Team Efficiency's just picked that next anyway. Steps is actually Meltdown's best map. They've never lost on Steps so far.
It's going to be a good game.
That will be very interesting to see Team Efficiency pick that. I would have rather maybe seen them off Steps, maybe onto Muravank or something like that, where they are actually
proc in the end?
better. No proc in the end. That will be vetoed out. We do see Ghost Town there as well. I like the Ghost Town pick there from Team Efficiency. I feel as though it's a map they're very comfortable on.
Yeah.
Meltdown aren't bad on Ghost Town either, so that's going to have to be something that...
Well, that's the thing. Both these teams are good at majority of the maps in this pool. That's why they're so high up on the leaderboard.
Yeah.
And of course, to round us out, it will be Himmelsdorf, the last map of the night, and of course Cliff once again for that tiebreaker. So they can veto it out, but if they make it all the way to the tiebreaker, they will be rolling out onto Cliff in the end.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because I would actually think that Himmelsdorf would be a much earlier map for Team Efficiency. It's not a map that Meltdown are ever comfortable with. They often veto it, first or second, and they have a below 40% win rate on Himmelsdorf. So, you know, maybe you'd like to see that a little bit earlier, but nonetheless, Ruinberg Steps goes down. Himmelsdorf, I think, if you're Meltdown, you're happy with this. With this setup, because you get Steps, that's your best map. You know, you get Ghost Town, another one of your better maps. You know, you're not playing on Mines, where you're almost always going to drop the attack. You've got what else? Himmelsdorf at the end, I suppose, so not too bad. Better than having it on maps 1, 2, and 3. So if you have Meltdown, you're really wanting to close this out 5-0 or 5-1. Whether that will be possible or not, I don't really think it's going to be easy for them to do so, but I think that has to be their goal, because as soon as they head on to Himmelsdorf then, and then Cliff later on after that, then things are going to go down for them.
No, this is definitely going to be a super competitive series here. Both these teams are just showing a massive amount of potential on either side here. And, of course, you look at Team Efficiency, the only team to take out EL, but then they drop rounds to Horseman, they drop rounds to Karen Tiger, and you've got to start to question, are they the best tankers in the APAC region? Then, of course, you have Meltdown, who also were able to take out Team Efficiency in recent weeks here. So you really have to kind of... I'm not too sure which of the two between Efficiency or Meltdown are the better team at the moment. I feel like, based on past results, Meltdown have that small little edge over them. That's why I'm going with Meltdown with the 5-4, Alex.
With a 5-4. Well, Jordan's gone team efficiency with the 5-4. I've gone team efficiency with the 5-3. But honestly, it could be either of those. It could be anything. I mean,
yeah, it really could. The last few days, predictions have been rough. We've been getting the teams all right, but rounds are just up in the air right now. With new meta, teams trying new things, trying to figure out the best way to deal with the mouse. Some having some luck, some not. But we're going to see how they go into Ruinberg. These two teams, see what they roll out with. I'm sure it's going to be a couple Mouses here and there dotted throughout the game.
Okay, so let's look at that. Now, this is interesting. Team efficiency, going with something which, from memory, they haven't run this exact setup before. Maybe something quite similar to it, but I'm actually not a massive fan of that from team efficiency because they've got a lot of... It's kind of sending me mixed messages, if you will. You know, they've got the 113s in there, so they want like mobility of the defense, right? But then they've also got an FV215 being a mouse, which is like not mobility, and then they've got an AMX50 being a bat chat, so they don't really want to like a super drawn out fight without autoloaders because they've got two autoloaders. It's confusing to see those team efficiency tanks.
It's a mixed bag.
It is a mixed bag.
And I'm just having flashbacks to yesterday's games where we saw the 113 just rendered powerless against a mouse in Ruinberg. So we'll have to see if team efficiency can use it a little bit better than whichever teams were using it yesterday. Meltdown going for a little bit of interesting... thought it was going to be like the Karen Tiger attack side, but they've decided to split at least one of the mouse off from the general concourse. The other two will be moving up towards that little Karen Tiger spot. Yeah, and team efficiency, they're setting up, I mean, fairly standard. I want to say Party's just guarding out that one flag. We've got another one of the T heavies up right at the back to kind of help out Party if things go south. Bohan here is going to be moving towards to cover up this F line, the exit from the town. So, you know, fairly standard. They are pushing down a little bit with one of those 113s, so I guess in that way you could say that they're using the mobility of the 113s early on, which is good. See Meltdown there with a happy little face. Explosion. Yeah, the happiest explosion you'll ever see, right? We saw the Mousers of Bohan and Valiant spotting each other out. Who's that down there? Cry got spotted out as well, going for the rotation. That would have been a very long-range spot coming from Granovsky, maybe? Yeah, maybe. And you know, it's times like this where if your team efficiency, wouldn't it just be nice to have, like, instead of one of those 113s or I don't know, even instead of the FV215B, maybe like a Type 5, just so you can, you know, you can shoot those Mousers that are trying to be clever and kind of punish them for. I think it would. Trying to trade. I don't know. Anyways, look. I think we've seen the Type 5 Heavy in the right hands really showed that it's a viable pick. I just don't think a lot of players are ready to pick that one up. They are still clinging on to the old ways here and there, and we have seen AMX50Bs do good in some scenarios, but the 113s, I just feel that's the tank that's not cutting it, and already shots just not penning into the mouse here. Yeah. So right now, we do need to see some big shots coming out. Skel obviously not going to be making those ones in that RU251. He does not want to get spotted. And Meltdown moving in, and they are taking quite a bit of damage on these Mousers. You have to be careful. Yeah, you wouldn't want to take that much. Not good stuff here. A lot of damage onto Pathfinder, a lot of damage onto Pang Pang. Valiant still unscathed here, but this comes back to just no trades coming out of Meltdown. They're getting the shots, but their low rolls here, not doing a ton. See if Pang Pang has a little bit of a better luck. Not really when Pathfinder's getting hit for 511. Like, it looks like they're shooting HE at Bohan, which, like, judging from the damage. Because again, that didn't look like a lot of damage there, unless they've just swapped to no, there we go, another HE shot, 137 damage. So Bohan there is not going to be too worried about getting spammed by HE, because I don't think he's firing that. Blast could have been caught out here. He's been taken quite low here by Party, who's going to be watching that one flag here. Crime Visitone making their way on up. There could have been a Thane potentially going to be able to clip out Party here if he's not too careful. Crime the Object 430 trying to get some shots on across, but Visitone, he's been found out, he's been tracked, he's been taken down as Sappy picks up the first kill of the game. Now Cry left all on his lonesome against a 113 with backup surely on its way, is not going to be having a good time here.
Yeah, I mean, look, Cry, he's in an Object 430, so he should actually have this. The Object 430 has 3,000 damage per minute. It's got an insane reload time, so he does actually miss that next one, unfortunately.
Should be able to pick up the slack here, but I really think the damage is dealt for Team Efficiency.
Oh,
great job, Skell. Cheeky. Not going to matter as Pathfinder does eventually fall Blast. Realizing there's only one way that Meltdown win this game is with a cheeky cat, but Bohan should have no difficulty just trawling his way over and going for the reset here. Pang up against more. 3 tanks left on the field for Meltdown.
Yeah, look, this should be a pretty simple cleanup now from Team Efficiency. There's only 2 Mausers left and the RE251. We're going to see, you know, probably a few dings like that. Moore, he's a good 113 player, but Valiant, they're starting to get a lot of shots put in towards him.
Skell's going to be able to get the reset at any time he wants, with plenty of time to play with. Oh, never mind. Blast is just going to get off the cap. As Safi's making his way on over. First round, any minute now, we'll be going to Team Efficiency with a very good start, and I really feel like Meltdown, they just really didn't show up. They just waltzed on in with a couple Mausers, got taken down to about half, didn't return any damage, shooting a lot of HE shells, just hitting for 100. You just can't be doing that. You got to have confidence in your ability to pen the mouse, or don't take those fights.
Oh yeah, look, there's lots of things that haven't quite gone too well for Meltdown in this one, and I mean, Pang, he's going to be going down next and finishing it off. But look, credit where credit's due. Team Efficiency here, I was a little bit skeptical about their lineup. You know, they had a little bit of mobility and some kind of different tanks. They were sending mixed messages, but there we go. They end up winning it, and I think they actually played to their lineup strengths really well.
Well, that was very apparent by how well they got those trades out on the double mouse that Meltdown had set up there. Just really not doing a lot of damage or much of anything for Meltdown, really. Just kind of there soaking up damage, and I guess that's why they picked the mouse in these regards, but you have to at least be trading back some damage, or else what are you doing?
Yeah, like I don't think Meltdown expected Team Efficiency's sort of 113s, etc., to have those nice positions that were very far forward when they were pushing the Mouses on towards the 2 flag. And obviously, if Team Efficiency hadn't been so aggressive with their mobile tanks, it's exactly what tanks like the 113s are designed to do. They are designed to be mobile, right? So by doing that, Meltdown not really ready for it. There was just no way that those Mausers could actually effectively get on towards the 2 flag or push up without taking all of that damage. You know, the only way is if Team Efficiency hadn't actually pushed down there in the first place and hadn't had those tanks in the right place to shoot. Because typically speaking, on the defense of Ruinberg there, what we do see is teams set up just very kind of compactly, tightly in that town to the north of the flag. You know, not pushing lots of heavies, or at least 2 heavies that it was from Team Efficiency, down a little bit past the town, which is exactly what Team Efficiency did there. You know, got them some good shots, got them some good damage on towards those Mausers. And again, yes, that was a mistake from the Meltdown Mausers to shoot HE. Like,
what are you gonna do?
Like, yes, you get guaranteed damage, but at the end of the day, it's like, if that's all you're going to shoot, you're going to lose.
Yeah, well, they're doing small little 100 guaranteed damage. They're getting copped for 500 on there, and it's just never going to win the trade. And this is kind of what went wrong for Meltdown as well. They tried to go for this fast, aggressive play when all else failed, and Vicetone just got smashed immediately. He went down, he got tracked, pretty much everything went wrong for the boys of Meltdown. Not a single one of their plays worked in their advantage, and here's the party. He got taken down as well. Pang was the last to fall, and hopefully Meltdown can regroup, regather themselves for the next game. Ooh, it's not close, obviously, because Pang's on the top, but when the initial thing comes up and you see the red panda everywhere.
Yep. Pang there with 4.6k damage. I mean, obviously, you know, you can't really complain if you're Pang. He has dealt quite a lot of damage, but the rest of Meltdown really not having much of an impact at all. And there we go. There's Granovsky, Mr. New top damage dealer for Team Efficiency, showing up again with 3,000 damage in that AMX 50B. And again, those heavy tanks of Team Efficiency, they played them to their strengths, and they ended up getting the damage out with them. That's all that they needed to do.
And I feel like Team Efficiency, they had that the round, from the word go. Hopefully they can keep up that momentum and continue to look good. Yeah, Vicetone, see, he got 5 shots,
Oh,
didn't get a single point of damage.
That's really bad from Vice.
It's the last thing you want to
so
be seeing.
rarely see that. And look, he was semi-partnered up with Cry, so I guess in some ways it's lucky that Cry didn't get taken out instead. But, I mean, Cry on the Object 430, credit where credit is due. He's managed to deal a little bit of a fair amount of damage. The Object 430 is a tank that you basically pick for the damage.
Yep.
You know, it's got pretty good camo value as well, better than a Bat Chat, but apart from that, you know, it's not really going to ricochet many shells like maybe an Object 140's turret might. But yeah, TVP, Pink Pig, 1400 damage, Pathfinder and Valiant in those Mouses, really not doing too well. And Blast in the AE251, 1100 damage, you can't complain about that either. Overall though, very controlling defense from Team Efficiency. They read that play that Meltdown was going to make perfectly. They set up perfectly to deal with it. And as soon as they got set up, once Meltdown pushed in, that was pretty much curtains for them.
Yeah, because the initial strategy from Meltdown was to get all the aggression to come to the double mouse that they had set up there and really force the hand of their opponents and then use those fast tanks to get into the side and take out the backline. But we saw, like you said, Efficiency. They read it like a book. They knew what to expect. They knew where to have their crosshairs set. Took out Vicetone before he was even able to get anything done. Not even a single point of damage, poor guy.
And honestly, for Meltdown, whenever Vicetone doesn't deal damage, it is so rare to see them win. It is so rare. So, you know, shutting down Vicetone, that is a great move there from Meltdown. I think, you know, what else can you say, really? Meltdown just need to up their game a little bit and maybe not quite rely on those strategies like just that really are old by now. Like the Mouses, what we just saw there, the double mouse push on towards the 2 flag, we've been seeing that before the mouse became popular.
Oh, yeah.
Before the mouse meta. So, you know, to see them just essentially think, oh yeah, let's just do this, which we've been doing for you know, 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
At least it's not the CDC.
At least it's not the CDC. Well, you want to know something funny, Max?
I do.
The CDC, you say at least it's not the CDC, but the CDC actually has a better win rate than the mouse at 55%.
There you go. At least maybe hope next time Meltdown should go back to their roots.
Maybe. They always trick people with that CDC.
I know, it works. And I think, again though, I feel like Efficiency maybe one step ahead of your average team in terms of the strategic knowledge of the maps. I feel like that wouldn't work. If they were able to read this strat perfectly, you know that if the CDC was rolled out, they would have been able to get onto that one quick, smart, understand what Meltdown were going to go for, and really just shut them down. Because there's only 2 options. Obviously, they're actually going to do the CDC strat, which all you need is one tier 8 tank kind of in the corner of the 1 flag to shut that down, or you just set up the defenses on the 2 flag and don't have to worry. But jumping into the second round here, Meltdown going for the triple mouse again, but Efficiency also rocking that triage.
Okay, so yeah, we've got the triple mouse again. Meltdown opting for that Object 430, so it seems like they do value the 430. I mean, the 430, it's not doing too badly. Team Efficiency again going with those mouses on the attack, and the IS-7. I like the IS-7. They're probably going to stick, maybe JT can play it. I think maybe Bohan can play it as well. He's quite good in the IS-7. So they've got a few options as to who they could put into that one. It will be JT. Yep. Yeah. Bohan's going to be sticking himself in a mouse instead. But yeah, the Object 430 is an interesting one. It actually has a 0% win rate so far in WGL APAC and only deals an average of 1,000 damage in a battle. I think the issue with it is that, you know, its camo is never really used. Like, it's got better camo than a Bat Chat, but when you're just rolling around like this, like, why not just pick an Object 140 or something like that, you know?
I think you're right. There's
and at least have the chance to ding some shells, sort of thing. But anyways, let's find out where these guys are heading out to. We will be seeing Blast probably heading right down towards that K0 area, and the AMX 1390 sitting up in a bush, starting to get some spots there for Meltdown. He probably won't be in a hurry to move anywhere. Probably has a camo net as well. We can hear the noise.
Yeah, relatively similar opening coming out from Team Efficiency on the attack this time, but there will be a bring up party in the 3rd mouse to actually form up with the other 2. Meltdown not getting any value trades out. They are able to get a shot onto Skell, so a bit of damage here. JT, if he's able to pen this, that would be nice. Not going to happen though. in the IS-7.
Yeah, no, that's not a shot that you can really pen in the
No.
IS-7 when Pang Pang's angled like that.
You can dream, though.
You can dream, I think, yeah.
Well,
so
he's
there
having a
we go.
lot of dreams tonight, apparently. But
I think that's honestly almost the time when you do load HE. But anyways, JT can do whatever he wants. So he's a pretty proficient IS-7 player. Don't really have any worry about the fact that he will be doing well. Apart from that, we do see Bohan, Safi, and Party pushed up near towards that 2 flag, and this is already pretty good for them because we don't see any of the Meltdown, heavy tanks pushed up to where we saw Team Efficiency's heavy tanks pushed up in the last round. So instead, they're all stuck in the town here. So that means for Team Efficiency that they have a much easier time pushing those Mausers out towards the 2 flag. And we always go on and on about the key to winning a nice ghost town brawl, a nice Runeberg brawl here is to actually get your tanks on the attack in towards that town on the F line.
Pretty much once you infiltrate that city, it's lights out for the defenders. They just can't get the angles down. They can't go through to get the side attacks without getting crossed from pretty much everywhere where the attackers have set up. And Safi, Bohan, both making their way.
Surprised Bohan fits through there, but that's nice. And Bohan actually getting a few unlucky damage rolls there. That's not great.
He gets copped for one. Valiant also finds his way to going down a little bit of health here. Vicetone, no, he's in a lot of hurt right now. He's going to go down here. It doesn't look like anyone is in a position to help him out, so just caught out of position once again. If he's able to maybe get another shot off onto Granovsky, that could be good, but Vicetone not starting the series off very strong here, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too great, but at the end of the day, he did actually get 4 shots off, and now Granovsky is very, very low. One more shot from, Pathfinder or someone will be enough to take out Granovsky, so Meltdown do still have that going for them, but right now, the HP is...
more, he got to move!
Oh, so close.
Held my breath there for a second. Granovsky is going to be able to get behind ample cover in time. Shots going into Moore. Pathfinder finding a few.
Not sure what Moore's doing there. He doesn't have any shells in the clip. Like, why? Not a big fan of that at all. So Moore there. He's going to be heading up towards that little bit of the town. Party. Yeah. Party just taking a shot on the cap.
Huge damage. Yeah, Party's really just setting up the bunker here.
Yep.
Not worrying about a thing. Obviously not looking for the cap victory. Just forcing Efficiency to waste their time shooting at him. More Granovsky. Both all moved up slowly but surely.
Yeah, okay. So, look, Team Efficiency, they have managed to get a little bit of map control. They're sort of controlling the 1 flag, but speaking of the 1 flag there, we can actually see Moore might find himself in a bit of a scuffle soon there. Pathfinder, obviously in that mouse, not too keen on pushing up and letting that Batchat get around him and flanking around it.
Oh, Pathfinder's in a bad way right now.
Oh, actually.
He's able to get 1 off, though. I like that one. Now, Safi taken down to about a quarter HP, maybe a third. Skill just rotating his way around, getting out of the fight, leaving that up to the big boys.
And look at this Team Efficiency. They've managed to make the push all the way here in towards the town. And I think this is where things start going wrong for Meltdown.
Yeah, I don't know, Meltdown, they still have a HP pool advantage by about 2k or so, but they are missing a tank off the field. Vicetone, who was clipped out very early. He did get Granovsky down to a 1-shot, so unless Granovsky can get a few shots out before his demise, it could be worth. Pang Pang finds a kill onto Moore, though, so Moore goes down, and you really questioned why he was moving up so far, and I guess the ultimate question was the answer was to die, Alex.
Yeah, well, that's
fully accomplished.
Not a brilliant play there by Moore, and honestly, Team Efficiency, they're starting to get very, very low. Bohan just going down as well, so, Meltdown are actually looking pretty good now. They've got a big HP advantage, and they just don't seem to be able to take out these tanks.
Yeah, JT trying to come around with the IS-7 to finish off 1. That's another mouse off the field for Efficiency. They've lost 2. They're about to lose. Party, he goes down as well. That's all 3 of the heavy tanks from Efficiency gone. Meltdown, what a comeback. It was really looking grim for them. Team Efficiency, they got the first kill. They took Vicetone out quite easily. They moved up onto the cityscape, essentially infiltrating the enemy team's village, and that's what we see attacking teams win on Ruinberg, and it just didn't. The plan just didn't fall into place. The pieces just weren't there for Meltdown. Efficiency.
I think they took a little bit too much time to actually do that, and by the time they did, Meltdown had already taken out the bat chat that already just, nuked them down so low.
420.
So, yeah, there we go. Pink Pig taking out JT. And you've got to give it to Meltdown. This has been quite a smartly played defense here from their lineup. And, we were thinking, well, maybe if Team Efficiency can get into the town, but they just took way too much damage heading up there. And Blast, Blast gets Skell.
He'll win out on that one. Granovsky, last player left alive. So, question was posed, did Vicetone do enough damage to render Granovsky useless for that game? And he did, because Granovsky, he didn't do anything after that, so may as well have traded 1-1. That's going to be the round going to Meltdown. Both the defenders winning out on Ruinberg tonight.
There we go. Okay, well, 1-1 on Ruinberg. I think that's a pretty good result, really, for both teams. It is a map
Doesn't really tell us a lot, though, of how this series is going to progress. Both teams looking strong.
No, you're right. It's funny, though, because, we look at the win rates of both teams on Ruinberg, and, they are actually 44 and 43% respectively. So, 1-1 is exactly what we should, statistically expect there. So, but yeah, Ruinberg defense, obviously both these teams feeling a little bit more comfortable on it. That strategy there from Team Efficiency, again, it was something without much pizzazz. It wasn't new.
No.
Meltdown, I think they knew exactly what Team Efficiency were going to do. Once again, they just got some really good shots out. I think Meltdown's Mousers were kind of out-shooting and out-trading Team Efficiency in all of those trades there, even from very early on when we saw JT get into that little kind of hidey hole, hold-down area.
Literally, they just swapped, basically. They both made the exact same attack. Obviously, Efficiency got a little bit further than Meltdown did, but essentially it still came down to the same flaws, just not getting the trades with the mouse, losing out on that one. And got to wonder which team's better at the moment in terms of angling the armor on the mouse, because both making some great arguments for it and both making some great arguments against it. Yeah,
look, it's interesting. I mean, I think that at the end of the day, a little bit of RNG, add that to I think JT's shots, who was in that mouse in that little corridor, getting some early shots off.
True.
Like that could have been 1,000 damage, and it's always up in the air. But at the end of the day, Meltdown did play that one better, so they did end up winning. I think it was very, very strange to see what Team Efficiency did up on the one flag. That was with Moore and co. That was, this actually didn't go too well for Team Efficiency. It really didn't, because they did manage to take down Vicetone, right? But Granovsky, he's basically dead. And Meltdown had also got a big shot in towards the other bat chat that was there. So, it wasn't ideal there for Team Efficiency. And we do see Cry actually near the top of the object, 430, putting the first win on the board for that tank so far this season in WGL APAC. And at the end of the day, when an object 430 survives towards the end of the battle, it's going to be putting out a lot of damage. It's going to be fulfilling its role.
I don't even think he got shot that game. I'm pretty sure he ended it on 2k health.
I think maybe one shot from the bat chat right at the end there. But yeah, apart from that, he didn't get shot throughout the entire course of it. So Blast, actually, look at that. In that AMX 1390, he's going to be pretty happy with that. 2.5k damage.
Respectable.
Very, absolutely.
He was. I think he was doing a lot of cleanup duty on the wounded bat chats.
Yeah,
like a hyena hunting lions.
It was that, exactly. And also, earlier on in the battle, I think Blast managed to get a solid clip or two off in towards those Mousers while they were pushing up, whilst he was still not spotted.
Definitely. Yeah, I think you might be right. I think it was when maybe Party, when he was getting on up there, because he was really in the front of the fight there. And, he got clipped out quite quickly. If I remember, he got taken down from like 2k to 800 in like the blink of an eye. So could have been from that.
Yeah, those Mousers really not working too well for Team Efficiency there. Bohan and Safi. I think Mousers on the attack of Ruinberg. Look, it used to be a kind of pocket pick. Oh yeah, cool, we'll do Mousers. They've got a lot of HP and we can push them up effectively. But at the end of the day, the Mouse is not a great tank for fighting on the move.
No.
Because it has to turn its turret, because normally the turret should be angled, and it also probably has to stop to actually aim in at the other Mousers that are shooting at it, because otherwise it doesn't have enough accuracy to hit the right spot. And that really puts it at a disadvantage in any attacking scenario. I guess. So there we go.
Like you said, I think it worked in the past, but just now that the Mausers are actually on the defense and they're the ones that can kind of dig on in and just set up those easy shots, it's just not viable. So it'll be interesting to see the future of Ruinberg and how it develops for attackers, because they need to think up something else if this just obviously isn't working. Both teams tried it, both teams blundered it. Obviously, we saw a little bit of variation. Meltdown trying to send one down through the mid with while only two on the right side. Efficiency went for that just triple push, didn't work. They got a little bit further, but in the end, the same result. So going into steps this time around, Meltdown 100% win ratio on both sides.
Yeah.
That's very good. Obviously, they've only played it 4 times, so it's not the biggest of margin or biggest of sample size to go from. But of course, it's still good.
Yeah, it's daunting here for team efficiency. I mean, you can look at it like, I mean, this match, obviously, team efficiency now, they are quite safe in second place. So what they really want to be using this match to do is, I think, like, get into finals mode, right? Because team efficiency, they're already auto-birthed into the Season 2 APAC finals.
Correct.
In Taipei. So right now, on these maps like Steps, where Meltdown are so good at, team efficiency, like, they need to find a way to win it. And I don't know how that's going to be. Are team efficiency going to do their usual thing and, you know, like a Type 4 or Type 5 out into the rail tracks, then maybe an Object 140 and bat chats? I feel as though team efficiency do have room to move up in their Steps playstyle.
I agree with you. And eventually, they're going to have to verse Meltdown at the finals, and eventually they're going to have to play on Steps. So they really need... Hold that thought, Alex.
Hold that thought. Okay. Well, this is interesting. Meltdown just decided, well, you know what? We're just going to pick 5 Mouses.
Sure.
I'm trying to remember if this is what they did last time on Steps.
You want to know what I remember?
What?
I remember Jordan saying we'll never see a mouse on Steps since the last bastion of hope for the mouse meta. It's the one map untouched.
Yeah.
How do you like this one, Jordan? 5 Mouses for Meltdown. We'll see if it works, or see if maybe Meltdown should reevaluate their priorities.
Yeah, and look, I mean, it's very, very tricky, right? It's very tricky because team efficiency, they actually don't have a great lineup to deal with it. They do not have a great lineup. They need to be relying on skill heavily. They need to get those spots from, you know, their bat chats. They need to spot out those big, very visible Mouses, and they need skill just to start laying in shot after shot from right from the get-go here.
Look at the HP pool difference right now, Alex.
19,000 versus 11,700. Yeah.
That's a bit nuts. That's going to take efficiency a very long time.
Yeah, like, seriously, time is an issue here for team efficiency. Like, and look at this, we are going to be seeing the Mouses actually moving quite aggressively up, but, you know, look, they're
every shot that doesn't do damage is just time wasted on the side of efficiency, because with 10 minutes to play through, 19,000 HP to get through,
yeah,
you have to be using every second wisely. You got to be doing at least, like, what? Once we hit the 9-minute mark, what? 1,000 damage a minute? No, more than that. My math is terrible.
Look, they're definitely going to need to be doing a lot of damage because, you know, Bat Chat only has so much damage in a clip. Then, you know, you've got a 35 or so second reload time on that one, maybe a little bit longer. And that is time that you're not dealing damage to the Mouses. So it takes 2 Bat Chats to clip out a Mouse. That's if they hit all of their shots, which is certainly far from guaranteed. So just from that perspective, like, it's not easy. So now these shots need to hit. Skell needs to be, like, already. I'm not really liking this positioning from Skell. He should have already been pre-aimed into this. He knew those Mouses were coming in. So I'm actually going to criticize Skell's artillery play here and say that knowing that Pink Pig was pushing up in the Mouse, there's no reason for him not to be aimed in here already.
As efficiency, have their work cut out for them, realistically here. It's going to be a very hard-fought battle to get some serious damage into the Mouses here, and if those arty shots just aren't hitting, it's going to be difficult. So now let's jump on board with team efficiency, have a quick listen in with their communication, see how they're finding themselves looking to take out Meltdown.
Listen, what we should do, bro, is focus this. and the bad chat should come in behind
guys
the
ready?
mouse. There's no point going in front of him. We need to come in behind him.
Yeah, okay, let's do it.
Seconds.
Just start moving.
Yeah, start
Wait a
going.
second.
Wait, when Botek goes, you guys go. Go, Bahan, go.
Wait, heavy.
They have a bad chat on the tracks.
Nice.
Can you run away?
Clipping now.
I'm clipping.
Run away.
Flipping as well.
It's good. It's good enough.
Yep, that's good.
Okay. We need leave one guy.
20
Hold this guy. RT do
I'll
his
stay.
job.
I'll stay.
Party stay there.
Yeah,
I
I stay here.
Are you getting spotted, JT, here?
No, but don't. You should just rotate, Granovsky. I can just stay here and light for Artie.
Okay.
Party, do you know like these
Scout?
upper positions? Do you know these upper positions?
Oh, okay.
Oh, you can go up
no.
on the edge.
Sorry, was someone talking to me? I was hanging
No,
up.
it's fine. I was just wondering your reload, but I saw you shit.
Can I get one bad chat? Go around.
There we go. So we can see team efficiency right here. After losing that tank, I mean, they're still keeping up their communications. It's good to see. They're still keeping calm. But the issue is, like we said at the beginning now, Meltdown have so much hit points, so many hit points left on their lineup that, you know, now team efficiency is starting to run into a time problem. They're finding it so hard to get through these Mausers that are really like mobile bunkers. We're seeing Pathfinder here. He knows how to angle the mouse. As long as he keeps it on a certain angle, there's only really one angle that team efficiency can shoot at him at. So, like, it in a way, he is indestructible unless team efficiency rush him. And if they do that, then, you know, the other Meltdown Mousers and Vicetone in that batch can just come in there and really punish him for it. So Meltdown playing this one perfectly to an absolute T.
Yeah, really. At the end of the day, with 5 minutes left, 4 minutes 45 to be exact, do Team Efficiency have enough damage to actually kill 4 of the Mausers still remaining, 2 with so much HP left on the field? And I don't think they do, because not only do they have to hit every single shot, they've got to pen them all and get high damage rolls. Not to mention, then if they don't, they have to reload. That takes 30 seconds off. I don't know if they have enough in them.
Yeah, like
The damage coming through is nice here. If they can get another one from more, that would be good. Of course, they've lost a tank as well. One of the 113s off the field.
exactly, and Safi's like, one shot, Safi's going to be going down. One shot, JT's going to be going down. So, like, it's just so hard for team efficiency right now to know what to do. And we said early on that Skell, in that M40, he would be the one that needs to deal damage, and that's what he has just done.
That's what he has to do. So that was looking like that wasn't going to hit, to be honest with you.
Originally I thought that first shot from
So did I.
whoever
So
it
did I.
was the Artie shot. Just like ricochet. I was like, wait a minute, Artie shot shouldn't do that. It should explode. Like, is Skill shooting AP or something? I don't know if the M40 even has AP. I haven't played it, but yeah. Anyways,
Wouldn't that be funny?
now actually with that mouse down, and now with kind of not too much on the field here for Meltdown in the way of spotting. I mean, look, they have still got Vicetone and Pang Pang, so their main spotters are still up. It'll be just so good right now if team efficiency could manage to get some tank with a camo net onto the Cat, but that's the issue. They don't have that. They have the Arnie. So, you know, they can't put an RU-251. They can't put an AMX-30 on the Cat.
No. You can see Crime moving his way up along with Mouse, Blast and Valiant. Slowly but surely, but I don't know if Granovsky has really a shot in getting here. He's just forcing the Mausers to move forward, but still, they have 5,000 more HP than their opponents. It's going to be so difficult for efficiency with only 2.5 minutes left on the clock to burst them out, because I don't know if there's a way where efficiency win with a Cat victory. It's going to come so close. It's going to eventually team efficiency.
Yeah.
Look, the reset comes through. They don't have enough time to go for a capture victory here. They need to go for a kill victory, and with 2.5 minutes, they don't have enough time unless they go right now.
Exactly, they're running out of time for that. So, look, team efficiency, I mean, this is the issue when Meltdown here have just picked 5 Mausers on steps, and Steps is a map for Meltdown that they've never lost, right? And we can see this here. This is just so hard to play against, particularly when Team Efficiency have gone that lineup, right? Like, if Team Efficiency had chucked in some TDs, maybe if they'd had an S-Tank, a T110E4, you know, a T110E3, even on the attack, some proper heavy hitters, right? To out-trade these mouses and to push up while maybe ricocheting some damage of their own. Yes, it could have worked.
What an interesting strategy to employ. It's just like, you cannot kill us in 10 minutes. We will just outlast you, and we will win. Right now, the capture is 5 seconds ahead of the clock. So one reset does it. And there it is, efficiency.
There it is.
They can't win off one tank on the hill. They need to get more on there, but that just leaves them completely vulnerable, because then Meltdown, they don't have to go searching. A minute 20 left, there's no way that efficiency can deal 9,000 damage in a minute 15. They've lost. They've lost.
Exactly. I mean, unless they hit every single shot from here, and Skell got like a massive shot, which is not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And even Skell here, honestly, I will actually pick on Skell a little bit. Yes, he's been dealing damage with every shot, like 200, 300, but he hasn't actually been connecting with many of these shots at all. And yes, the M40 here isn't a guaranteed arty. It does, have a little bit of RNG like all arties, but I really would have liked to see Skell deal a little bit more damage in this one.
Oh, Granoski has gone down, and that's going to be one of the tanks leaving the capture point here. Team Efficiency just not respecting the fact that Meltdown don't actually have to do a damn thing to win this round. 30 seconds left on the clock. Valiant is going to start taking some damage, but Pang Pang's already moved up quite far with 20 seconds. There's no way. They can't deal 6,000 damage in 20 seconds. Team Efficiency just wasted 10 minutes of their time by not playing this game and letting Meltdown just sit back.
Yeah, it's not great from TE.
It really isn't. You just can't have that happening. And yet, Efficiency, in one of the most passive games I've ever seen, lose out to a time victory.
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't really know what's happened there from Team Efficiency. Like, yes, their lineup is not a good lineup to run into 5 mouses. You never, ever, 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 ever want to run into 5 mouses on the defensive steps with the same amount of bat chats.
No,
it
just doesn't work.
Never.
And we saw it doesn't work. It just didn't. Realistically, when they got into that game, there's no way they were going to kill all their opponents. They needed to win off the cap victory, but they only started really pressuring the cap at, what, 2 minutes?
Yeah.
With the game left. That's 2 minutes for one tank on the field, and all it needed was Valiant to slowly go up, get the reset, come back down, and no one from Efficiency could punish him, because even if they are shooting at him, they're not guaranteed damage.
Exactly.
It's such a bizarre thing to witness.
It was hard because you could feel for Team Efficiency what they were going through, and obviously jumping into their comms as well. We heard their thoughts on playing against all of those mouses. So really, like, that was just inevitable in some ways when they face. As soon as we saw those two lineups there in tank select, it's like. Yeah. This lineup, this side is not going to have a good time against this side, because like 90 or 80% of your shots going frontally onto the mouse while it's properly angled are not going to hit, if not more. Like,
yeah, I wonder if that's the not the first time that we'll be seeing that strategy employed on Steps, after seeing just how effective it was against Efficiency of all teams. Because I'm sure they were expecting a bunch of bat shots to come on in. Not bat shots, but maybe not 5 mouses.
Exactly, not 5 mouses. I didn't expect 5 mouses, and unless I've completely missed something, I mean, my memory's pretty bad, but I don't remember 5 mouses coming into Steps before for Meltdown, so...
No, that's the first time we've even seen, like, a mouse on Steps. I feel like every other time we play Steps, it's bat shots, 113s, Kronwagen here or there. Yeah. But that was bizarre. It really was. And Meltdown obviously finding a niche for them that's working, and coming into their attacking side now that they've shown that you can win a game by not playing the game. Wonder how Team Efficiency will take that one. That was a great shot. He just needs to do more of them. More of them. Blast at the top of the leaderboard in terms of damage in the mouse and Skell. 13 shots fired, 3k damage. You be the judge.
Yeah, look, I mean, okay, so obviously Skell there. With 3.2k damage, you can't really say that he's done a bad job.
No.
I mean, Like, exactly. He's done, let's calculate it, if he's fired 13 shots, he's done, roughly speaking, a little bit under 300 damage a shot there, 10 times 3, exactly. A little bit under 300 damage a shot there. So, look, it's not too bad. It's obviously quite a high amount of damage dealt, so it doesn't look bad. You see, oh, wow, a tier 8 Artie, it's dealt 3.2k damage, but he was up against 19,000 damage. So, Skell, he's actually only been able to deal, what's
to kill
that?
one mouse.
Yeah, to kill one mouse.
There's
Exactly.
still 4 left.
So it's really not great there from Team Efficiency, and I don't blame them. Like, I would have been very surprised if they could have somehow turned that around and pulled it into a win from the start of the game, because it's just so hard. And look, the Meltdown... The Meltdown houses, they didn't need to do much. They just needed to soak shells.
They just needed to survive. That was it.
Exactly. Look, I mean, that is like... We talk about cheese strats on Himmelsdorf yesterday in the ELTCZ game, but
yeah,
that right there that we just witnessed, that is the cheesiest of cheese strategies. Like, because it turns you to a point where you're not even...
They're not even playing the game.
You're not even playing a game. You're actually just playing kind of like a mathematical equation. It's like, if damage possible in amount of time is less than HP on team, then you win.
Yeah, can the amount of bat chats that Team Efficiency rolled out with actually do 19,000 damage in 10 minutes?
Yeah.
The answer is no, apparently.
Well, yeah, exactly. But
I guess if they're just shooting at him, yeah.
Yeah. Look, they can, but obviously
in practice,
exactly.
Yeah.
In practice, they can't. Exactly. So, very, very hard there for Team Efficiency, and I think if you're in their mindset now, you've actually got to be feeling a little bit down and out after that game, because you've really been cheesed pretty hard. And look, all credit to Meltdown for thinking of that. Absolutely, I would love to see more teams even play that, because that would mean we have to see some new innovation on how to counter that sort of thing. But I think Team Efficiency initially coming into steps there, picking those bat shots was irresponsible of them to do.
I understand, like, they can't expect that, but at the end of the day, what do you even do now? Now that you know that that's a possibility coming into this, and we've seen Team Efficiency do work against EL Gaming with a bunch of those tank destroyers, but is that even going to be viable coming into steps against 5 Mausers? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, overall, I think that Team Efficiency, they've just got to put that one behind them.
They really do. Do you think they might be rolling out 5 Mausers?
Team Efficiency, they're not the team that rolls out those sorts of things.
But they did it on Muro. I mean, Proc. They literally did 5 Mausers on Proc.
They did, to be fair.
It's not something it wouldn't be completely out of the ordinary, something we haven't seen before. They've shown that they can do it, because they did that exact thing on Prokhorovka, where they just said, you can't beat us. We're going to watch the 2 flag, we're going to watch the 1 flag, and you just cannot kill us. And it worked. And we saw Meltdown do exactly that on steps. And I wonder if Efficiency don't think they're above it, if they're willing to try it. And we know these guys can get tilted as well in the past. We've heard it in
well,
comms.
exactly.
They did sound focused, but they sounded a little bit too focused. Like you heard them saying, "Oh, can you repeat that? I was so focused in on doing this, I didn't hear it." Maybe they're so focused they didn't realize the time. There are a lot of factors here at play that could potentially be setting in to Efficiency.
Lots of factors, but I think if you're Team Efficiency, look, we're still very early on in the series. So I would be doing, if you're in the Team Efficiency war room, so to speak, is you'd be saying, okay, Meltdown here, obviously, in the first map, in Runeberg, in the first half of steps, they have used a lot of these Mausers. Okay, guys, let's think. They're going to be using Mausers moving on.
Yeah.
They're probably going to be picking Mausers here on the steps attack, even though it is steps attack and not really suited to Mausers, to be honest. How do we counter that? Do we go with some high penetration tank destroyers that have an easier time shooting Mausers? Do we try and out-trade them with T110E4s or T110E3s, T95s even, like on the steps defense? Do we go with an S-tank to put up on the boost? I think they're conversations that Team Efficiency need to be having right now, because I think if they do their default thing and just put like a Type 5 heavy out on the rail tracks, and then your bat chats and blah, 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 or your default Team Efficiency stuff,
not gonna work.
that doesn't deal with Mausers properly.
As we're coming in, we'll be seeing Team Efficiency running with something very
There we
similar
go.
to
Okay.
what Meltdown did. But of course, their own little spin on it by chucking in a Type 5 Heavy this time around. But Meltdown, they've gone for a very similar attacking side to what Efficiency did. So surely they know, having just run the 5-mouse strategy, how pressed for time they're going to be here. So we're going to have to see how they can now execute this attack.
But I like Meltdown's lineup on the attack better here. They have got their own mouse. They have also got that STRV. And one tank, it just seems like, oh yeah, it's just one tank. It doesn't make that much of a difference. But having an STRV in place of a bat chat there actually makes so much of a difference. Because, you know, it is one of the craziest tanks in terms of damage per minute in the game. You know, it does have very good penetration on that gun. Very, very accurate. So, you know, you can hit wherever you want when it's in siege mode, obviously, and they've also got that RU-251, which is another boon to them to be able to spot out those Mausers, not relying on an artillery base.
Oh, looks like they're going for some early damage onto the Mausers here. This could be what they needed, using their speed and mobility to get on up there and get the damage up front before Efficiency can get into position and answer back. And they found a lot of damage onto Safi. They might be able to take him out if they are careful. Vicestone, one more shot and he lives on 800 damage, but the damage has been dealt onto the side of Efficiency. And of course, guys, we do realize that the camos are wrong for this game. We'll have that fixed up and back to normal for the next game, so just have to bear with us until then. But I really, really like that opening from Meltdown. They punished the super slow Mausers who had barely even taken a step out of their base, and Safi's down to 348 HP.
Meltdown have just shown how to counter that strategy that they just used. Right?
I
By
think
getting in there early.
Yeah, they
exactly. Meltdown obviously are so experienced with this mouse strategy. They know what counters it.
Oh,
and
look
they
at the
just did
S-Tank's
it.
positioning as well. He's just going to be firing
look at that.
shot after shot down, but
Yeah.
he's got to be careful as he's just copped one for 500 damage. He can't stay up there for too long. Going to be getting out of siege mode to start driving away, but Safi's been taken down. That's the first mouse off the field in under 10 minutes, something that Efficiency struggled with last round as Meltdown. They knew it. They knew how to play it, and they know how to play against it. That's one of the things you got to consider when coming into these highly competitive games. If you're showing your hand early, you better believe you need to have a way to deal with it. And Party is going to be getting obliterated so low, but the S-Tank goes down. Pink Pig picks it up.
Good shot there from Party, and Pink Pig, I mean...
Oh, Pink Pig goes down, rather.
Yeah, Pink Pig just getting a little bit greedy, I feel. At the end of the day, it's not a massive loss to Meltdown because, you know, they have still managed to wipe out so much HP from that Team Efficiency lineup. Now they only need to get, you know, one more shot in towards Party, and he will be going down. So I'm still, you know, I'm still definitely liking the position that Meltdown is sitting in right now. They still have their own mouse on pretty much full HP.
Yeah. I don't know. Team Efficiency, they've got to be careful here.
Yeah, obviously
One
Valiant.
good shot into Party takes him out, but that's, whoa, I was going to say that's not going to happen anytime soon. But Valiant finds the damage here. Party, 66 HP, and if you remember that conversation Jordan and I had about the 40 HP yesterday, every little hit point counts.
Yeah, and I think what Valiant's doing right now is he's actually loading HE. I'm pretty sure that looked like an HE
Yeah,
splash.
they're really big
Yep.
splash
There we
damages,
go.
and that's Party going down. Valiant picks it up. 2 Mausers off the field for Efficiency. The HP pool dwindling every single time Meltdown take a shot. Blast and Pang Pang going to be rotating over. They want to try and catch out Granoski, who we know is on the reload. Vicestone will be behind him. Skell, he's spotted out the goods, but now it's time for him to get back behind the safety. Blast, copping a few shots here and there. He's got to be careful, because the tide can turn very quickly, Alex.
Yeah, it certainly can. Skill there. He's going to be up the top and needs to, you know, decide who he's going to focus on in this upcoming fight. Obviously, an RU-251 can, you know, deal with a fair amount of damage as Pathfinder there getting some shots on towards JT. But look, right now, I'm still very much liking where Meltdown are sitting. They've got 2 tanks off the field, 2 Mausers, still 2 more Mausers on Team Efficiency's side, but it's gonna be tricky for Team Efficiency to defend, particularly if these trades keep on going in favour of Meltdown. But that being said, actually, the rest of the Team Efficiency tanks are pulling up quite a nice defense, actually. Granovsky rotating there. And
He's still full HP.
yeah. Yeah,
5 shells in the tank.
Pathfinder has to be careful.
He does. I don't think he's in any line of sight at the moment, so shouldn't have too much difficulty avoiding that. But, once again, the onus is now onto Meltdown to win on the attacking side. 5 minutes left on the clock, so half the game is gone. Going for a bit of a flag capture here on the 1 flag.
Okay.
It's gonna be Pang there.
This isn't too bad. Obviously, Skell will be able to try and get those resets. I don't know he's there, and
He's got the camo net as well.
Yeah, Pang does have that camo
High
net.
moves.
So that's all. It's quite good. Still not spotted out, so this is good. You know, we're seeing Meltdown exact a little bit of pressure. Skell, you know, he's going to have to be there for a while. Look, he's probably going to
this next shot might be able to. If he aims it up again, but he's got to be careful.
Oh, does he just decide? Okay, I'm not sure about that from Skell, whether he maybe just wants to
Still a minute left, so
focus
they're
on
not
the reset.
in too much danger of losing. All they might have to do is just send Granovsky in for a little bit of a bombing run here, but he puts himself so vulnerable, and I really don't think Efficiency can afford to lose a bat shot.
Yeah. Oh, Valiant though.
He might be in trouble. Valiant, he's copped a shot here and they're going down a considerable margin of health. I wonder how that came apart.
Oh, the shots are coming so close to Pang right now. So very close.
Ooh, 45 seconds left on the clock. Meltdown still in a great position here once Team Efficiency are forced to go through, and I think they've given up shooting in that area because they're looking at the entire circumference of the circle to try and find exactly where Pang, who's in such a small tank, obviously in relativity to the mouse, on the field.
Yeah, look, now this is starting to get really worrying for Team Efficiency. This cap, it's on to 20 seconds. Now, Skell has actually had to come down off the boost to try and spot.
I think they have to sack Skell for it. I think that's the only viable option here. They need to get Skell in. He needs to spot it out, but he might go down for it. Pang, is he going to leave in 10 seconds left? He is, and he goes down as JT picks him up. Pang falls once he's revered. I think it's all falling apart for Meltdown.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Meltdown right now.
Yeah, with 3 minutes left on the clock, I don't think they're going to be able to take this one anytime soon if they can't find the damage in the right spots, as the Mousers will just be kind of running point for Team Efficiency, not allowing anyone from Meltdown to get in range of those bat shots. And Valiant, he's just not doing anything right now. Pathfinder may be able to catch out Skell here if he's lucky.
Maybe.
Hopefully that Type 5 doesn't get wind of him, but he's on the reload. Ring around the rosy coming through here.
Oh, and Pathfinder's actually just missed that one shot.
Valiant goes down. That's 4 versus 5, favoring Efficiency, and they have a 3,000 point HP advantage. One more shot out of Pathfinder.
Oh, there we go. But look, Pathfinder's on the reload.
13
knows
HP.
it now.
Yeah, Pathfinder gonna go for the ram kill, and he gets it. He set himself up like a nice little defensive wall here as well, and more. He's going to go for the overextension to try and take out Pathfinder, but with Bison with no shells left, he's not going to be able to clip him out here. One big shot is all it could take. He bounces that one. Looking for it.
Only 200. It's only a 200 damage shot. That is not very good for more there. Oh, but Pathfinder's just forgotten about the other angle that he had to look out for now. More reloaded in 6 seconds. I think Pathfinder's going to be up maybe a little bit closer than that.
Yeah, he's going to be using more as his own personal shield, but I don't think he's getting any damage off in time. Really trying to go for this one. Miss? I think he did.
I think more just missed.
Oh, no. Pathfinder was down to like 10 HP. He hit him, but didn't kill him.
Look at this Meltdown. They have 2 bat chats left on the field. Team Efficiency, I think this should be Team Efficiency's game right now. It's looking like it. I mean, Firestone, he should be able to take out the mouse.
Still, but a minute 30 left. I don't know.
Too much HP, I think, left out of Team Efficiency.
Not to mention they got a full HP bat chat alive.
Exactly. So, oh look, Meltdown. They've given this one a fair old crack.
They started off so strong. They just faltered in that mid-game, and that's what it came down to. So both teams winning out their defense, both losing out their attacks so far.
It's looking like it. And honestly, if you Meltdown, you've got to actually be just a little bit annoyed at Pink there in that S-Tank, because imagine if they'd have had an S-Tank for 7 more minutes of the battle. You know, just imagine that, which they could have done if Pink hadn't gone for that.
He's just so greedy.
Aggressive peak, exactly. Oh, that's a fire though onto JT.
Oh, it doesn't matter though. Blast goes down to Granovsky. 45 seconds left on the clock. Very good try out of Meltdown, but not meant to be, as Efficiency waste no more time, hunt down the remaining tanks, win out the round here. So 2-2, this series has a potential to go all the way.
It does. It absolutely does. It's a great series so far. We are seeing some of the best tanking that we've seen, I think, ever since the mouse patch. So, I mean, this is great. And I want to see that this continue from both these teams. Steps, obviously, both teams winning their defensive side. Really, I think that comes down to a lot the fact that they didn't really have great or at least execute great counter strategies against those Mousers. We did see Meltdown there. The start to that map was perfect.
Oh,
for
so
Meltdown.
good.
Absolutely perfect. You know, they caught out those team efficiency Mousers and, you know, got one of them almost down to 0 instantly. But then lost their S-Tank.
That was
lost their S-Tank.
That's where the tips it tipped over in the favor of efficiency. There was
Yeah.
that S-Tank. Imagine, like you said, imagine what they could have done with 7
Yeah.
more minutes left alive. It would have
Exactly.
wreaked havoc, but he just got a little bit too greedy, a little bit too impatient. And I really feel that even though you are up against the clock there to win that game, when there's such a high HP pool on the opposite team, you can't afford, when you're in such a crucial tank, to be playing aggressive like that.
Yeah, look, I
When
think...
you're spotted, when you know you've got 2 Mousers watching you, just take your time. There's no reason to rush. You still have 7 minutes left on the clock.
Tricky, very tricky. So, look, I think that team efficiency there, I mean, they're going to be obviously, you know, pretty happy with that win there in the second half,
sure.
evening it up 2-2. But at the end of the day, that was Steps. We are 2-2.
Meltdown lose their first round on Steps.
Meltdown lose their first round on Steps. Exactly. That's a good little kind of bonus for team efficiency. And I don't know. Let's take a look at some of the replays in that one and see whether there was anything else Meltdown could have done.
So this is where we thought, wow, Meltdown. They're so smart.
Yep.
They've set this up perfectly. They had Pink Pig just laying down the fire. 10 seconds left on the cap.
Yeah, that was
great
close.
rotation by Skell. He played that perfectly. The ram kill. And then he was able to take out that Type 5 Heavy as well. Just wasn't meant to be for our boys in bright yellow.
Yes. Path. Oh my goodness. Look at that damage dealt. That is ridiculous.
And that's not enough, though. Isn't that the funny part?
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
not enough
5k
damage.
and it's not enough. That is just...
Welcome to the mouse meta.
That is insane. Anyways, but to be fair, at least, the bottom kind of 7 players dealt less than 1,500 damage each. So
That's true.
That's actually not that great. JT, though, on that mouse, 5.3k damage. I mean, that's JT at his best.
Oh, yeah.
Pathfinder, that's him at his best. 5k damage in a bat chat. Like, honestly, at that point, they'd be starting to run low on, you know, shells with 28 shots.
That's the next strategy, right? The first strategy is to outlast your opponent in terms of time, and then it's just to outlast your opponent in terms of shells. So they have nothing left to shoot you with. They just have to ram you, and that's never going to win. But look, end of the day, you're right. The IU-251, Safi's mouse didn't get a single point of damage. That's how well the opening side of this game went out for efficiency. Meltdown, rather. The S-Tank, only 1,200, 7 shots fired. Again, can't stress enough how imperative his survival was in Meltdown to win this. So now that Steps is done through and through, we've seen some very interesting strategies, very innovative way to use the Mousers instead of that just front line of damage, using it as just a pretty much an impenetrable fortress. Stepping into Ghost Town here, I'm sure that type of stuff's not going to fly. It's going to be a lot more brawly.
Yes, I would imagine so. And, you know, it's funny because we saw that bat chat up the top there with 28 shots fired, and I'm fairly sure, if I recall correctly, the bat chat only has something around the 30 mark in its clip. I don't know the bat chat, but I'm pretty sure it's something like that. So when you fired 28 shots and you've dealt 5k damage, and you've probably only got 2 or so shots left in the clip, I mean, literally, he's done almost all that he physically could have done to win that battle. It's just the Mousers have too much health.
Yeah, one bat chat up against the world. Fortunately, was not meant to be for Meltdown, but going into Ghost Town, going to be an absolute melee in the middle of the map here. We've seen just mouse-on-mouse action constantly with, of course, what I do like is that kind of like the secondary fight that's going on. You've got the flankers all but rotating around the side of the map, trying to catch each other off guard, potentially trying to catch the Mao's front line off guard, get some shots in the back, and it's always interesting to watch which team has the better flankers, because that's what I ultimately think Ghost Town comes down to. Sure, we may see people just angling their armor better, but that's just basic mechanics. It's really which team implements their flanking strategy better that will have the one-up in this game, essentially, where both teams are mechanically about even.
Yeah, it's interesting because sometimes team efficiency, you know, they do look comfortable on Ghost Town, sometimes they don't, sometimes they do kind of potato the attack particularly, so I'll be looking towards the attack here for T to see what
I'm
they
looking
can bring
towards
out.
the attack for both teams because neither one have won one yet.
Really? There you
Yeah,
go.
they both won defenses.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Ruinberg, they both won defenses. Steps, they both won defenses. Maybe Ghost Town will go all the way as well.
Maybe. Who knows? Let's find out. We're going to be getting Mousers.
Yes, we are, Alex. Good an Udes, though, for Meltdown on the defense.
Okay, Udes, AMX50B on both sides, and so the only real difference, I mean, 113 and the IS4, I think they're quite similar, to be quite honest. The Bat Chat for Meltdown, the Bat Chat APs for team efficiency, and the Udes for Meltdown. So, Udes on the defense, I still think that's quite valid. You know, it'll always shut down a one flag push.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It just completely eliminates the win condition for the enemy team. And it's always worth just one tiering.
I don't mind that. And look, the Batch APs, like, oh, I'm still not sold on Batch APs in general in this current metagame where, like, you have to just be sitting there for so long in the Batch APs, just hammering down at the mouse, you know, for minutes on end to make any proper dent in the enemy team's HP pool.
This is the boost.
Blast, please.
Shame on you, Blast. Shame on you. Shame on you, Des. That wasn't funny, Alex. You can't laugh at that.
Good stuff, Rogie.
Look, JT in the IS4 going to be slowly moving his way up. Blast round 2.
Oh, he's got a good run up now. He shouldn't miss this one. Oh, he's gone pretty steep, but he gets it.
Yeah, it really looked close there for a second.
Did. Oh,
Shots coming through from Valiant.
Oh.
Oh no, he missed it out on that trade.
JT too strong. I'm almost a little bit surprised that JT went through there. Must have found a nice little angle, maybe a nice roll as well. So good stuff there from Mr. JT.
I always think like the mouse from the front, it looks like it's just eaten like a spicy chili, and the steam's coming out their ears.
Yeah.
Always see.
You reckon?
Yeah, see, it's coming out both sides there. It's like it's all ears and it's eating something too
Oh,
spicy.
yeah, the smoke. Yeah,
the smoke.
Yep.
Something way too spicy. Maybe it's been eating your memes, Alex.
Maybe. Maybe. Oh, no. But,
Everyone's set up quite far out from one another. Usually we see just like a ball of mouths, essentially that death ball just roaming on up. But looks like everyone's spread out quite evenly here.
Yep.
Dots everywhere on the minimap, as a matter of fact.
So right now, we are going to be seeing team efficiency kind of essentially just feel out where Meltdown are. So right now, they're just playing for information. You know, they've spotted Pathfinder out there near the 1 flag. They've spotted some of those tanks near the 2 flag. So they're starting to get a bit of a lay of the land. And they can, I think, reasonably expect Vicestone there to be somewhere down that 1-2 line. That's exactly where he is. Safi's just been spotted out, I think, by Vicestone as well. So that makes things a little bit easier for team efficiency to kind of work off. Obviously, they know the Udes is up on the boost as well. So the question is, you know, do they go for the 1 flag now? Do they go for the 2 flag? Or do they just do exactly what they're doing right now and just keep on trying to out-trade Meltdown?
Yeah, Meltdown losing out on these trades to start things off here. But of course, they've got a long road ahead of them. 7 minutes left on the clock here as Meltdown mount quite a strong defense, but I actually want to jump on in and have a listen in with Meltdown to get an idea of just how they're going to be warding off Team Efficiency's aggression.
아래쪽.
이거
나 마우스
우리가 밑이라서 불리해 지금.
내가 스팟이 안 뜨거든. 우자 밑에 AP 2대 갔을 수도 있어.
야 마우스 안 보인다 이 앞에 있던 거. 마우스.
흘러 들어오네.
나
아니야 이거 다 펼쳤을 거야 아마. 얘들 아직 움직일 타이밍 많이 안 나오. 저 아마 저기 묶여 있어.
50B.
나 블라인드 맞아 오건비한테. 아니다 이거 스팟 떴네. 마우스한테 떴나 보다. 나 이거 못 나가겠다.
이거 도와줘야겠다.
이거 클리 나랑 빼고 가자 이거 위쪽 버려. 그거 아마 낚시일 거야. 지금 마우스 여기 있는 거 보면.
버스 따로 오라고 하는 거로.
이거 나 위험하다.
형이
사주고 있어. 우리 백업 가고 있어.
여기서 쏴줄게.
그 위험하면 넘어와 일로.
아 너무 하다
마우스
맞아.
탭을 못 나가.
No, doesn't look like a lot has happened in that listen in. Meltdown, they've just kind of rallied the troops a little bit there, moving on in, closing the ranks, not allowing Skell and Safi to go for those flanks, which you can definitely tell that they're trying to do. The Udes just locking down the A to B line, making sure that Skell can't find his way on in. Vicetone doing the same to ensure that Safi's not going around. And with 5.5 minutes left, it'll be interesting with this similar thing coming in, where there's just not enough time left in the game. But Safi and Safi and Vicetone will be trading shots.
Oh yeah, and I'm not too sure that's working out too well for Safi.
Oh, he's got to
Obviously,
be careful. Remember, he's only in an AP.
yep,
He
there
goes
we
down.
go. There we go. That is not good. That is not good at all for team efficiency. Losing that, they did get a little bit of damage out onto Vicetone, but a little bit of damage is not the same as a tank going down. And Pink Pig starting to take some damage in the town as well. I think, like, team efficiency, they're on the attack. They're the ones that have to make this work. 5 minutes left, so they do still have time.
Yeah, they got a lot of time to play with, but again, time is just not an ally on the attackers anymore. Like it never was, but now it's like actively working against them. Every second is just a second less that they have to work through such an incredible HP pool. And with a Batchat AP gone, that's just going to leave the flank so vulnerable on the side of efficiency. They do have quite a margin, 3k at the moment. Basically one mouse extra. Pang Pang takes a few shots here. JT and Party though damage modules, so they've got to be careful when they take a few of these shots. You can see Vicetone, Cry and Pathfinder looking to go for the flank right now. If Meltdown can get a good steel wall up, it's going to look bad for efficiency as the flank could very well come through here. Cry making his way on through. He's found the backside of Bohan. Hits him once, hits him twice. Looks for another one though, gets the shot onto More. More might go down here. Is considerably low HP. If they lose a 50B, that could be lights out for efficiency. They may not have the damage to play with, but Cry on the reload is going to back out. That's going to force both the 50B and the mouse of Bohan to move their way on back. The 113 now has a shell in the chamber as Vicetone, super low as well, has to respect the damage output still to come from efficiency.
Yeah, look, I mean, that was a little bit rough there from Meltdown. We do see now that team efficiency are holding the HP advantage. For how long, though, I'm not too sure because Cry's just coming in here.
Oh, they should be able to take him out here. Granoski will get one more shot out onto Cry. Oh no, Cry, he needs to get the shot up before he goes down. He doesn't connect with it. He might be able to get around the wall just in time. He does. That should allow Pang Pang to finish him off here. Maybe they're just going to wait for Pathfinder. Cry eventually does go down as Party picks him out. This one is too close to call at the moment. HP's slightly in favor of Meltdown, but that's not going to be for too much longer. A Scale trying to get some damage shots in, but he's only in about AP. He goes out of ammo, and 48 HP on Party, who eventually goes down. Scale falls, Bohan left alive. Meltdown mount an amazing defense against efficiency's attack. 3 for 3 in terms of defense so far. We'll see if the next round Meltdown can break the curse.
Yeah, well, very impressive stuff here by Meltdown. I'm liking everything I'm seeing from them. I mean, you know, right there, Bohan, he's left. I don't think he's had kind of that much of an impact. We obviously saw JT. I mean, he was struggling to, you know, join into that brawl. And Meltdown, Vicetone. Vicestone's still alive. Vicetone did such a good job staying alive throughout that duel. You know, when there were 2 Batchat APs on him.
Yeah, it all came down to when they killed Skell, that just opened up the entire map for Meltdown.
Yep, 100%. Because it gave them the flanking routes. And as soon as you have the option to move, the option to flank with tanks like the Batchat, AMX 50B on your team, then you can really use that, and that's exactly what Meltdown did.
Yeah, that's what I said it would come down to. Both these teams, pound for pound, equally skilled matchup in terms of mechanics. It's going to come down to those flanking maneuvers that these teams have to employ to get behind those mouses. Vicetone, with a little bit of backup, was able to take out that Bat AP, completely breaking open the setup that efficiency had held for a good 5 minutes. After that, their attack, it just didn't work out.
Yep. Exactly. So, and like, honestly, I said at the start of the game as well that these Batchat APs, so situational, and we saw then exactly why. There was a Batchat, Vicestone, he was not in a great position. There were 2 Batchat APs on towards him, and they just could not put the damage out that they needed to put out on towards him to take him down. And because of that, you know, see you later Batchat APs, they had to put themselves into a compromising position for too long to try and get the damage out. They went down. They gave Meltdown the map control, and Meltdown took it from there.
Yeah, it was pretty much one and done. Meltdown, great stuff coming out of them, taking the series up to 3-2 at the moment. Team efficiency, they're going to have to do well here on the defense. Wonder if they'll implement the same strategy that Meltdown did, chuck on an Oods, give one of their players a bat shot, set up a nice steel wall, couple, maybe 113 again, maybe a 50B, who knows?
I'll be interested to see how well the Udes actually did do there, because, I mean, I think he obviously would have got a few shots, particularly towards Batchat APs.
Not on top 7.
Okay, there we go. On
Wow.
on top of the top 7.
No, I am so wrong. I was looking for like
Yeah,
the
exactly.
3 to 7 line. I'm like, I didn't make it, maybe not that good. I wasn't looking at the 1 spot, Alex. Wow.
Yeah.
4K rounded up.
Okay, so that's why you still pick the Udes in the mouse better. Dealing 4K, that is very impressive there from Blast. No other words for it. He obviously managed to help out so much in that Batchat AP fight, in the other kind of fights around the map that you know happened when team efficiency pushed through a little bit. Good play there from Blast. And Vicestone again. Vicestone, he was put into a quite a compromising position early on, but he managed to turn that around. Managed to end up second for Meltdown on the damage charts at least. I mean 2.8k damage dealt. So he's got to be pretty happy with that.
Really good stuff coming out of Blast. Just super impressed by that one. You can see both the Bat AP, Skell and Safi, just not getting a lot done tonight, Alex. Not getting a lot done.
Yeah. Not getting a lot at all done. So, like, I think these teams need to find a replacement for the Bat APs.
Suggestions?
You'd need to have a think about it, because obviously you want to replace it with something that can still deal a lot of damage very quickly, because that's the whole idea with the Bat APs. It does have an auto loader.
We see the WZ work quite well on Ghost Town.
Yeah,
I understand it doesn't fulfill the exact same
exactly,
role,
but it's a good exactly.
it's another
If
good
they're going
off-pick.
with the tier 9s, you're right. You know, a WZ. Honestly, even on Ghost Town, like I'm sure you could pick a T95 or 2 and make them work. There's lots of good tier 9 tanks still left in the pool. If you want the mobility that the double Batchat offers, you could go to T50s and you know, still do everything that the Bat APs could, except in that sort of a situation when you catch out essentially one normal Batchat, boom, 2 T50s would be able to clip it down just instantly, compared to the Batchat APs, which are like, doof, 200 damage, doof, 200 damage.
Do we let him go a third time? He goes a third
200
time.
damage.
You still got 3 more shells to go through, Alex.
Doof, 4, 200 damage. Doof, 200 damage. Doof, 200 damage. Doof, 200 damage. Like, you see my point?
I can feel Jordan in the back of my head just gazing at you with maybe some interesting words.
Probably. Not to worry.
Look, but you've bought us enough time to jump straight into the tank picks, Alex.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear. But team efficiency, well, they're not going to be taking the Bat APs again. Instead, I'm liking this lineup a lot more. Not going to be going with the Udes either. Instead, going to be going with that AMX-30 prototype, which we've been seeing a little bit. Of course, that tier 9 French medium tank. And T57 heavy. I do like the T57 heavy.
It's done work in the past.
It's done work in the
new
past.
meta, rather.
You know, you just got to make sure that it doesn't die first, and you're good. Apart from that, Meltdown's going with mouse setup. Really, there's nothing interesting there. They've got two Batchats and AMX to 90, which is whatever sort of thing. Almost would prefer two tier 9 heavies for the attacking lineup, but again, it's how they use it. Meltdown, they're more of a Batchat kind of team anyway, so it's not too bad, and plays into team efficiency's hands at least, because they have 3 squishy targets to shoot with their type 4 heavy. Skull's going to be driving.
Oh, Meltdown, they need to break the curse right now. That seems to be a team winning on the attack side. Or do they have it in and Skell getting some valuable information for himself, spotting out the entire squad, it looks like, on the side of Meltdown, maybe 3 or 4 tanks. I think it was the triple mouse and the type 5 heavy. Yep. Getting spotted out here. See Efficiency. Vicetone is down at J6, J5 lurking around. He might be able to catch Safi or Granovsky if they rotate over, trying to go for the flank here, but Meltdown, they could have left themselves very vulnerable. Look where JT and Bohan have gone. Oh, Vicetone as well. If he gets spotted, he's going to be so much trouble. He needs to book it now. He does have Pathfinder there. He was hidden a little bit by the minimap, so it could be a 2 versus 2 for them. But Vicetone, he's under fire already. Pathfinder as well. They're not coming out ahead in this trade.
Yeah, and there we go. That's where we see the strength of the T57 Heavy. Granovsky just unloaded a few, unloaded his clip really in towards Vicetone, and Pathfinder got a good bit of damage out with the help of that mouse there, down there from Team Efficiency. And now, Meltdown have just lost all of that map control. They're rotating back up with their 2 bat chats.
Oh, they are on the kill with 45 seconds left on the clock. 2 tanks in there as Valiant, but he's going to get reset any moment now. I wonder if they'll think that the 1390 is behind him and try to go for that one. Party will be the one to go in for the reset here. I wonder if Meltdown can punish him for that, though. It doesn't look like anyone's in position as he's gone for a different lane.
Okay, yeah, Party just playing it safe. Oh, well, not too safe, obviously, but he will be able to get the reset on towards the mouse. No one's actually got the reset on towards blasting the AMX 1390 just yet, but I would imagine Skell should be able to kind of get through that. They're currently destroying all of these destructible buildings.
He's been spotted.
Blast is spotted out. See you later, Blast. He will surely get off the cap soon.
He's got to be careful. He's staying on there, and that mound of dirt is not going to save you forever. Party's shot just goes a little bit above his head. 50 seconds left on the clock. Maybe he just wants to flirt with danger for a little bit longer. See if he can force Party to overextend there, but connects with the shot, and that's what happens. Play with fire, get burnt.
Yep, there we go. So very good play there. Very good reset from Team Efficiency. And honestly, now if you Meltdown, you're starting to get a little bit worried. Team Efficiency got about a 2k HP advantage right there. Granovsky needs to actually start hitting those shots. They're just bouncing off the pink pig. Morse there.
The pink pig.
Ah,
the pink mouse.
The pink mouse.
Look, I think what this trend that we're seeing, I feel like it's going to come down to who gets defense on the tiebreaker here. Because right now, both these teams look like they don't know how to play attack. They only know how to play defense with the mouse. They don't know how to attack with the mouse. And what more do you need? They're nearly down half HP at the moment to Efficiency, who should have no trouble cleaning up this game at the moment.
Yeah, particularly because Granovsky here in this T57 Heavy, he's just been essentially set free. He's getting a few very unlucky misses there, which is not ideal. But Team Efficiency, they're going to be able to clean this up quite comfortably, I think. Even though there are still actually 6 tanks left on the Meltdown side, TE really angling their turrets perfectly, angling their hulls perfectly as well. Skell obviously just wanting to deal with this AMX 1390 fairly soon, and Team Efficiency wanting to push in to seal the deal, so to speak.
Pang goes down as well. Meltdown gonna fall on the second half of Ghost Town. Efficiency looking like they're not even gonna be losing out a tank here as JT, while he's quite low.
Look at Valiant. He's just blocking so many shots there. I seriously think Granovsky's emptied like 3 clips into that mouse and gone through like 3 shots.
Yeah, definitely. Oh well, unfortunately for Meltdown, they are going to fall here. Go down. Tying the score up 3-3 for Efficiency. And yeah, can any of these guys actually play attack, Alex?
Oh, look, I mean, I can sometimes, but not tonight.
Not tonight.
Like.
Definitely not tonight. 1390. It's a 400. Vicetone might be able to win that fight, but doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
Come on, Skell, you can do it.
Yeah, he's just waiting for the reload. Going to come up. Should have no trouble. Has enough health to survive another shot. And takes him out. Bang! Vicetone goes down. 3-3 Efficiency.
3-3.
This is a series, I'm telling you. This is a
good
series.
It's I'm loving every minute of this, honestly. It is, very interesting because we're seeing some not new but kind of refined play here from Team
refined
Efficiency.
is the word.
I felt as though last week, just after obviously the patch hit here for APAC, we had seen that Team Efficiency and lots of these other teams, starting off with some kind of adapted strategies. We did see the mouse come in a big way. We did see lots of new strategies developed by these teams. I think what we're seeing right here at the end of the second week of the mouse meta is we're seeing these teams refine everything. So team efficiency, again, they're going with the AMX30, but you know they've got the T57 heavy in there. You know they've still got the Batchat in there. That initial decision to push the T57 heavy with the Batchat
clever.
down the bottom there, very, very clever. It gained them so much map control. Essentially, it gave them the bottom half of the map once they scared away Vicetone and co from there, those two Batchats, because at the end of the day, a Batchat and a T57 heavy will just a little bit more of a threat than just two Batchats. I think also because team efficiency had their something else down there as well, maybe. So, look, good play from team efficiency.
I think they copped a few mouse shots here and there as well.
Yeah,
But,
it would have been a mouse down there as well. Exactly. So that was smart of them, you know, really, to get that map control early on. Obviously, that flag didn't really go in Meltdown's way. Team efficiency, we were able to get the resets on it.
Very ham-fisted attack is what it looked like. But thinking back to Valiant blocking damage with the mouse, do you want to have a guess how close you got, Alex? Because I just got told. How much
It'll be something it will be something crazy. It'll be, let's say, 4K at a conservative estimate.
4.7.
4.7.
4.7 thousand damage blocked in the mouse from Valiant that time around. Not enough, apparently.
That's
Not
insane.
enough.
That is insane. He's like that is literally like 3 clips of a T57 heavy.
Yeah.
There's 3 full clips that just don't do anything. Mental, you know.
We're probably going to be seeing some of that right now.
Yep. Block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4.
And wait for it. He's not even looking at him. He has no intent to shoot back.
There
He
we
just wants
go.
to pad those block stats a little bit more each time. But damage on your screen here. Blocking more than anyone could deal is Valiant tonight.
Yeah, exactly. It's a shame for Valiant that he didn't actually get up there to the damage
No.
stats. You'd expect him to do more than 2k damage if he managed to block 4.7.
Well, that's the thing. He's never aiming at him because he was angling the turret.
Well, exactly.
That's it, right?
Exactly,
I guess. But yeah, there we go. Look at that. Granovsky in that T57 heavy. He got 20 shots off. They didn't all pen, that's for sure, but got about 8 of them or so.
He did a
to
great job early catching up Vicetone and Pathfinder.
Yep. Yeah, really good there by Granovsky. Skill in the AMX30, I think that's worked. I think, you know, in the defensive half that Meltdown played, we saw the UDES work. In this half, we've seen the AMX30 work on the defense. So it's good to see 2 sort of pretty strong tanks working there on the defense. I think the AMX30 worked quite well for team efficiency because they didn't need to stay on that one flag. You know, it is a very flexible tank, the AMX30.
Yeah.
You can just push it right in and, you know, have it deal 2.5k damage at the end of the game. Vicetone, look, you've always got to give it to Vicetone, even though he did have a bit of a rocky start. You know, top 7 of the damage dealt isn't too bad. Pang, you really shouldn't deal 0 damage with a mouse in any situation whatsoever.
Yeah, just not finding his mark that time around. Obviously, that did happen to efficiency on steps happening to Meltdown on Ghost Town. But, of course, our next map up is Himmels. Another very mouse-heavy map in a mouse-heavy meta. Be interesting to see who has the better strategy coming in. Because, once again, I do believe firmly these teams, in terms of skill, pound for pound on par. It's all going to be about those strategic placements, strategic flanks.
Yep. I think so as well. So, look, well played there by Team Efficiency Himmelsdorf. I mean, I predicted a 5-3, so for my prediction to actually come true, obviously Team Efficiency after 2-0 Himmels, which, I mean...
It's not outside the realm of impossibility.
Exactly, particularly because as well, Meltdown, they're actually not good Himmelsdorf players.
No.
They've got a 30% or so win rate on the Himmelsdorf attack, which is actually Team Efficiency's slightly weaker side with only a 67% win rate. So, you know, that's good for Team Efficiency, obviously. And Meltdown only have a 44% win rate on the Himmelsdorf defense, with Team Efficiency's over 75%.
Huge numbers
So,
coming in for Team Efficiency.
absolutely. So, Team Efficiency definitely look like a stronger team when we look at those numbers. But, you know, they got lots of their wins before mouse, so the question still is, have they perfectly
right?
adapted
Yeah,
to
that's
the
it.
mouse meta? You know, these tell a little bit of the story, but not quite all.
Curious to see who does it better. Jumping on into the mouse. I was going to call it the mouse lineup. May as well be, as we do see 6th on either team hit. T1, 10E3 on the side of efficiency, as they will be the ones defending. So if history repeats itself, Team Efficiency should win this one, but of course, on the side of Meltdown, they've got a Type 5 Heavy, as well as I wonder who that lone bat chat is on.
Oh, it wouldn't be Mr. Batchat, would it?
No, surely not.
Surely not. But yeah, team efficiency, I think that's a big mistake there with a Batchat AP. There's no point in taking a Batchat AP in this lineup. He will end up in the bottom 2 damage dealt. Bottom 2, maybe 3, because, yeah, unless he, like, you know, goes up to the hill and, you know, gets some shots onto, I don't know, like, Vice turn up there. But still, I don't like the Batchat AP here for team efficiency. Go with the T95 instead. It just offers so much more. Team efficiency, though, they are going to at least be using that mobility of the Batchat AP, pushing up towards the hill.
Yeah, we could
early
potentially
on.
see a fight actually going to be breaking out here. Vicetone and Pathfinder. Once again, no, is that Pink Pig? No, it's Pink Pig, sorry. Up there with him. Or it could be Pang Pang. I see the letter P, and it's up near Vicetone. I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
It's Pink Pig.
There we go. There we go. Okay, so Pink Pig here up on the hill. Getting a few spots off. Might be trying to get a few cheeky shots through there. And look, I like the AMX50Bs. Still on Himmelsdorf. It is always going to be a tank that puts out a lot of damage. It's never a bad thing.
Should be careful though on the reload. 3 tanks just out of his view range, lying ready in wake. Skell, Grunowski. Once they spot each other out, Pink Pig's gonna have to book it out of there. He may be up too far, and he's flirting with danger right now. Vicetone is just there, but still a little bit of time on the reload. These guys, are they blind?
He's not peeking far enough ahead. There we go. Skell
Oh,
spotted.
they spot each other. Pink Pig now finally on the reload. It's in the nick of time.
Oh.
They're going to be trading the shots into the 50B. Where's Vicetone? He is there. He can come through. He can get some shots onto Grunowski. But remember, they're scared of the unknown. Pink Pig only got that by the proxy spot, so he doesn't know how many more are waiting on that decline.
Yeah, there we go. And oh no, Grunowski's made a wrong move there. Not expecting Vicetone to be up on the hill, but really, when you think about it, there's not too many other places.
He can't escape. He can't retreat from this one. They have to wait for Bohan, and I think that's what they're doing. Meltdown should recognize that efficiency aren't backing off and think, what does that mean? Backup's on the way. GTFO.
Yeah, look, and in the meantime, Meltdown are actually pushing through the center of the map, which is not actually too defended. I like that push from Pang Pang, Valiant, and Blast in those Mousers.
I can just imagine Bohan in the mouse thinking, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, getting up that very steep hill.
Yeah, so and this is dangerous as well because team efficiency, obviously. Oh my goodness.
Give him the boost.
Oh my goodness.
That's funny.
He's actually hiding behind him as well, so using him as a kind of a human shield.
It's a win-win.
Tank shield.
It's a win-win for the boys. They've made their way. 3 tanks up on the hill now.
Yeah, well, they have, but I don't like what I'm seeing from Meltdown's Mousers down there because they pushed out very, very, very close up. Oh, and Granovski's actually able to get some good shots from the hill. That's big.
Skull's going to get his turn now as Robert, he goes down. The Type 5 Heavy sends him to the sky. He's out of the fight for now until the next round because he's dead. The Mousers on Meltdown, moving their way on up. Safi, JT and Party will be the defenders here, but do they have enough to work with? Vicetone, Pink Pig, Pathfinder, and Cry all rotating over as well. Bohan, he's completely by himself up there. There's no way he gets back into this fight.
Yeah, exactly. That is really, really not great there for team efficiency, but at least they've started this fight out well. Pathfinder there in the Amex 1390, all he's going to be doing is getting on the cap and putting the pressure
Can
on.
Bohan at least shoot Pathfinder from up there?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's even in signal
range.
range.
He's gone down. He's out of the fight. That's 2 tanks off the field for efficiency. Meltdown. 7 up. Pang Pang going to get shot in the back by JT, but Safi should go down here once Cry gets the last shot off Blast. He's able to pick up that one. Now they've got their sights set onto the T123 of Party. Cry not going to find any damage in his Type 5 Heavy, but it matters not. Party doesn't get any either.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there from Party, not getting through to Cry. That's certainly not ideal. You should definitely be able to hit this next one, but Cry can't. Oh my goodness, this is a bit of an embarrassing fight to watch, but surely Party can go through here. Yep, there we go.
641.
Not a big roll, but
respectable nonetheless, but I think it might be lights out for efficiency right now.
It's
minute
looking
left
like
on
it.
the cap, and they just don't have the guns on the field to go with it now. Party in the firing line. AMX 50B, Mouse, and a Type 5 Heavy. You're not getting out of that one anytime soon.
Yeah, look at that. Party goes down, and like I don't know what Team Efficiency were really thinking. They're pushing the mouse up the hill. That
Bohan,
was-
he's finally in the fight, Alex.
Oh yeah, well done, Bohan. You've
Took him
made
like
it
2
into
minutes.
the fight.
Took him
Have-
2 minutes.
Have a participation medal.
I don't think he's got a single point of damage on the field yet.
Well, he can't get the participation medal then because he didn't participate.
That's it, right? So if Bohan is able to get at least some damage, which I'm sure he's in a mouse that's going to get a shot off before he dies. But 15 seconds left on the cap. Maybe you won't even get the opportunity to
Yeah.
get the shot.
He might not.
Oh, here we go. Will Bohan get some damage?
No, missed
it
it.
doesn't look like it. 2 seconds left. That's going to be the round going to Meltdown. They clean it up with a cap victory, and they break the streak of losing on attack. Congratulations, Meltdown.
Good stuff. Very good stuff there from Meltdown. And look, overall, you've got to be a little bit worried there for Team Efficiency. That was actually
Sloppy.
mistake-filled.
Sloppy.
Mistake-filled, sloppy play there from Team Efficiency. I mean, I don't understand, like, really why they wanted the hill so badly. Why they needed to push all of those tanks up there. And it was a mistake from Granovsky in the AMX-50B to pick up initially, because when you look at it, it's like, okay, so there's an AMX-50B up here. What else could be up the hill for Meltdown? A bat chat? Ooh.
Missed the bat shot, as
Mr.
a matter
Batchat,
of fact.
who always goes up the hill every single game on Hillsdorf. So that was bad.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. And then they wasted a lot of time getting Bohan up there just to think, wait a second, they've seen 3 tanks up on the hill. Where are the rest of the of Meltdown?
Like pushing like doing a reactive push of a mouse up to the hill so you can drive off a bat chat in an AMX-50B and make them just drive down the other side of the hill and not worry about anything. Like, that doesn't make any sense to
No,
me.
it really doesn't. And I wonder when we get the battle stats up if he actually was able to get a point of damage out, because I don't think he did. I don't think he got a shot onto the 50B or the bat chat when he finally got up that hill. And by the time he got up there, the fight was on the other side of the map. And welcome to the mouse meta, Bohan. You can't actually move around a lot. It's not a 113. It's not a mobile heavy.
Exactly. And like, again, a situation where like they picked the bat chat AP and the bat chat AP went up the hill. It's like, oh, another bat chat. Damn, guess I can't do anything.
Oh no, JT in the mouse doing 3.6, so he's at least getting a mouse kill of his own in there. Cry in the Type 5 heavy, really dishing out the damage he was able to take out.
Cry did work.
I think, yeah, it was when it was looking bad for Meltdown as they pushed through the street, and the AMX, the Batshot AP was up on the hill with the 50B getting some damage, and Cry said, nah,
like, see ya, mate.
nah, you're not getting another point of damage on my watch, bub. Takes him out.
Yep, that was great stuff there from Cry, and it would have been a bit of a lucky shot as well, of course, because those Type 5 heavies, the guns are they're not exactly designed to snipe cross.
It's not a sniper. No, it's not a grill.
So Party there in the T110X3. I mean, like, he should have dealt more. We saw him miss shots. Like, that's not ideal for Mr. Party.
And it wasn't like he missed a difficult shot. He missed the Type 5 heavy rolling at him.
Yeah.
Come on.
And all that time, while Team Efficiency were wasting time on the hill, Meltdown were just pushing those 3 Mouses up.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with Mouses. You can out-trade them if you're in a T110E3 and they're on the other side of the map. You can't out-trade them if they're in your face.
It's like the DJ Khaled meme. Congratulations, you played yourself. Because that's exactly what Efficiency did. They played themselves.
Yep.
They overcommitted to going up on the hill.
Oh.
Bohan,
Will you look at that? I wonder.
1,000 damage.
I wonder which tank got the bottom of the scoreboard that I said would get the bottom of the scoreboard. Is it a Batshot AP because it's really bad? Yeah.
Yes, it is, Alex. It is the
There we
Batshot
go.
AP.
Anyways, no surprises there. I'll give out free coaching sessions, fellas.
Hey, he's
Tip
got-
number 1, don't pick the Batshot AP.
He
Let
has
alone on Himmelsdorf.
You have a win over EL under your belt. I think that's an impressive
do.
resume, Alex.
I do. I'm quite good. But
You got the most losing team in APAC to take a round of Efficiency on this map on defense, as a matter of fact.
Yep. If
I
Team
fe- I
Efficiency
feel
had
like-
just done that strategy, it would have, I tell you, it would have beaten Meltdown then. Because
You might be onto something, Alex.
like, yeah, it's just mistakes from Team Efficiency. And once Meltdown got all the way up to Team Efficiency, particularly when T had that mouse up on the hill, like there was never going to be anything they could do. It was a, not even a 6v7, it was a 5v7 because
The 1390 not only
Yeah.
being useless, died immediately.
yeah, the batch AP exactly.
Oh,
kind of-
sorry,
yeah, exactly. So really, as soon as that, there's just some really strange calls. I wonder who was calling them for team efficiency, because it wasn't pretty. And for
You
a
gotta wonder.
team that actually like they're pretty decent, they're pretty good on Himmelsdorf defense. You know, they've got a 67% win rate. I think this is where we're actually seeing that maybe in the mouse meta, they're not quite so confident. They don't actually know how to play it quite so well, because in the mouse meta, the key to it is holding your ground against mouses, because mouses, they're not very good at moving, they're not very good at shooting on the move. So being on the defense, you want to exploit that. You know, you want to be the ones that are stationary and just punish the mouses every time they need to move through any open ground. But team efficiency obviously never had the chance to do that.
Meltdown going to be rocking 4 Mausers this time around on the defense of Himmel's Type 5 Heavy Batchat and a 1390. Once again, no matter how heavy the lineup is for Meltdown, you know there's going to be a Batchat. That's
Oh yeah, you know exactly. And while Vicetone lives and breathes, Meltdown will pick a batch.
I think there's I can't remember the quote, but it goes basically like all these things are constant. So there's a bunch of things that will always happen, and then you add like the variable, which is Vicetone and Batchat.
Yep.
All these things are constant.
Exactly. So here we go, rolling out to see whether team efficiency can pull in here. I mean, if Meltdown win this 5-3, then that's actually another result which none of us would have guessed.
Yeah, that would be bizarre. I thought it'd be a little bit closer, but efficiency here on the offense. They need to come up with a win here, or else they're out. And wouldn't that be crazy for history to repeat itself? Meltdown get another 5-3 victory over
another
team
one.
efficiency.
Yep.
Especially in the new meta here. Party looking for a shot onto Pang Pang, not going to find it. The 113 just really struggling in this meta. I
mean, I think Himmelsdorf, it's one of the 113 on Himmelsdorf I will always give you, because there's a few places on Himmelsdorf which do have that little rubble which a 113 can get behind.
Oh no.
And be very hard to pan. Right, so I'll almost give you that, but any more than that, and yeah, not a fan. Oh, Gravsky dinging that.
He has taken a shot though already, and the 50B's up on the hill. They're not playing, no secrets to no one. More on the reload, not getting any damage down to Meltdown.
Should be noted as well, of course, that whilst we have the traces that we can see, obviously the teams do not, so they can't really see where the shots all came from.
Yeah.
Safi there in the mouse though, is going to be rolling out and heading towards Blast and Pathfinder. Don't think... Yeah, he's not going to be spotting them just yet. Team efficiency, I don't mind where they're sitting out to, because they do have those two AMX 50 bears on the hill. They do have the potential to push those two AMXs down if they wanted to, maybe on towards the 2 cap.
Sure.
They've also got Skull in the 1390, so they have got, you know, quite a bit of cap pressure if they manage to get him onto a cap. Not too much damage dealt on either side. Obviously, the issue is that Meltdown do have so much HP on their lineup. So to team efficiency, not quite so much, but still quite a bit.
So we'll be seeing an old-fashioned mouse off. Actually, Pink Pig going to retreat out of that one. Doesn't want to have a bar of it just yet. Bohan moving his way on up. The 50B's up on the hill. Still just ready and waiting for the call to move down. You can see Meltdown kind of clustering together now, doing a little bit of a defensive ball curl. Making sure that efficiency can't crack the nut, can't break the setup. Blast is the only one who is a little bit far out, but Crime Pink Pig should be able to help him out if any of the slow-moving mouses decide that he's the player that they want to go for. They have spotted out Blast, so they know he's there. The rest of Meltdown remain a mystery.
Yeah, look, team efficiency obviously struggling a little bit with how they actually want to move next, you know, what they want to do next. It's always hard to push into mouses, obviously with mouses as well, because you're so slow and not great at shooting on the move. Bohan here. Yeah, I think this is what they have to do. Just get in towards a cap, pop the AMX 1390 in towards the cap, start getting some cap pressure. Fairly standard stuff. So it's looking looking like that's what Skell's going to be doing. Just wedging himself up towards the cap.
We haven't seen anyone flip themselves up like we did EL that
Gaming,
one time.
yeah. Oh, that was great, actually. I would
No more
love to see
innovators.
another flip.
It'd be a cute trick. Especially now that there are so many mouths that could just build a wall around him.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, maybe in the future, maybe is it difficult to do? Because you could, I'm sure, surely you could botch it and just everything goes wrong. You lose the game.
I think so. I think it would be very, very, very difficult to do. It just seems like you just kind of like push them up against the wall and it flips, but I'm sure there's some intricate stuff in there.
Oh, Valiant doesn't get the trade-off. Can't find a shot of his own. And despite such a resounding percentage advantage in favor of Team Efficiency's winning, Meltdown won the last round very convincingly here. So I think this game's completely up in the air. I think a lot of these map percentages that we have, pretty useless when we consider the new meta.
Yep. Exactly, so...
Well, Valiant takes another one. He's really botching these trades. And we see this time and time again. Someone tries to defend, get the blast, the splash damage onto the 1390, onto whatever tank they have there, and they lose out on a couple hundred damage. HP, sorry.
Yeah, look, more here as well, actually, with Pathfinder spotted. Oh, Pathfinder's in a lot of trouble. He's probably going to be going down here if more actually hits the shots. Oh,
What's he
one
doing
more
so
shot.
far up?
Oh, he needs to hit this one. Yeah,
Skell's
I'm
chasing
not
him
sure.
down anyway,
I'm not
so-
sure what Pathfinder's thinking doing that far up. But yeah, Skell will be chasing him down.
He should be able to get away, for now.
Jeez, Meltdown are pushing pretty aggressively.
Yeah, I don't know what the play is here for Meltdown.
Yeah, I mean, we look at them like they don't. That's the thing. They don't really need to make a play because there's 4 minutes left, right? It's already starting to get a little time sensitive to you.
Here comes the Mr. Batchat. Vicetone versus Granoski. Vicetone has the advantage right now, but a good shot coming through from Granoski. He needs just one more. I don't think it's going to matter. Vicetone, oh no, can't find it, but the Ram suicides himself into that one. And you can see Skell and Pathfinder just out of the fight. They're going to be darting in and out between each other. And I like that you mentioned the time on Meltdown's side. Once again, do Team Efficiency have enough time to take out 4 mouths in a Type 5 Heavy, Alex?
Like, they've still got 13,000 hit points on the Meltdown side. Like, you're really starting to run into a time issue now with Team Efficiency. Yes, they do still
Pathfinder
have...
got out alive as well.
Oh, yeah, they do still have 6 tanks and up for Team Efficiency, but Skell's obviously not going to be contributing too much damage.
Oh, I'd love to see Pathfinder up on the hills, just spotting out the remaining members of Efficiency if he's brazen enough to do so.
That'd be nice, but look at this Team Efficiency. I think if this hits 2 minutes and 30 seconds and T still haven't gone in, there's just not going to be enough time.
No, I think we saw it happen on Steps. Could potentially seeing it happen on Himmels. If Meltdown win in such a manner, Team Efficiency will definitely be kicking themselves.
Yep. And it's looking like Meltdown, they've just said, okay, well, we're just going to sit on the 2 flag.
They're going to put Skell in, they're going to create the iron
this is
wall.
good. This is actually good. This is the best option for Team Efficiency right now. Getting themselves on towards that 1 flag and just getting mega cap pressure going. And the issue
I
is
like it. I like it.
They need to actually put more than just 1 tank on there because that's how they win. They win by cap pressure now. They don't win, I don't think, by taking out all of Meltdown's tanks.
No, they can't. With 2.5 minutes left on, it's physically impossible. They cannot do it. They do not have enough time. They do not have enough damage to take out all of Meltdown's tanks. The 50B is going to get spotted here, but that's going to leave Pathfinder pretty much up the creek with no paddle, unless he can dart, duck, dodge, dip, and dive, but he can't dodge a wrench. Pathfinder takes him out. Rather, Moore takes out Pathfinder. That's going to leave Meltdown down a scout, down potentially a bombing run here.
Yeah, and look at this. We do see the sirens go. 2 minutes left on the clock. But the good news for Team Efficiency, actually, is that they've still got Skell on there. And it's going to be up to Vicestone. We can see Vicestone, he is going to be the man that gets the cap reset. He has to be.
so low. Oh, Moore, this is...
Oh!
It's all on Moore. He needs to come through here. He needs
right.
to better get the shots off. Vicestone, can he get around the corner? Moore botches the first shot, but there's going to be Skell. He's actually got him in time. Vicestone, he can't get the reset. 40 seconds left on the clock. Still a large margin for Meltdown to work work with. But Valiant goes down as well. Blast, he has to just completely abandon the rest of the map to go for the reset. Have Team Efficiency turn this one around and potentially want it here. Bohound
Party's
goes
gonna get in
down.
front of him. He's gonna get in
25
front of
seconds.
him.
He's just blocking him. He's being a nuisance right now. Skell darting in and out of cover. They're using their tanks to be obstacles. You can see Pink Pig, he can't get through the reset. No, Team Efficiency, it's all gone wrong. But with 50 seconds left on the clock, they may have enough time to finish them off. They need to do it, they need to go now. Pink Pig gets a kill onto Safi. It's a 4 versus 5.
Oh my goodness, what is happening right now? Meltdown, their mouses seem to be melting faster than any mouses I've seen before, Max. And look at that Pink Pig. He's dropped down. Ricochet's another shot from the 1390, but one more and he will be going down, and that's his ammo rack. Damage as well, 5 HP.
Oh, he's still alive.
Oh my goodness.
They get the shot onto Party. If Pink Pig can get a reload off in time, no, he goes down. Skell picks him up. The Hobbit versus the Giant Troll. Skell wins out on that one. Party goes down. It's a 3 versus 2 Cry in the Type 5 Heavy. Needs to get a big shot onto more. Pang so low. 15 seconds left on the clock. Can they get the kill onto Cry? Can they take this to a tiebreaker? Skell's one shot is coming through. I don't think they have enough time, Alex.
They
don't have it. They're going to lose out here. 5 seconds left on the clock. There's no way that Skell takes out Cry. And in another time victory, Meltdown take the game. They take the series 5-3. Efficiency, fall victim to the clock once again.
Oh, he called it. He called it, and there we go. Just like that, I tell you what, I mean, you can't say that these mouses don't give us amazing games, because that was so fun to watch right there. Right down to the wire, you know. Imagine if Moore had just turned around the other corner of the AMX 50B and put 2 nice shots in towards a Type 5. Oh, it could have gone so well for Team Efficiency. It could have.
But alas.
But alas, exactly. And honestly, I thought that Skell was going to actually stay on the cap. You know, once that 113 blocked the mouse from actually getting there, but then Skell peeked out and he got shot after he peeked out. It's like that could have been a win as well. So many opportunities.
I really loved that decision making, that split-second decision making from Efficiency to just use their tanks as physical objects in the game to stop the Mousers from being able to get in range. It was a stroke of genius, but unfortunately, the candle burning at both ends for Efficiency, and it all crumbled down too soon. You're right. Why did Skell poke back out? He didn't actually need to get any damage down. He just needs to sit behind the building. Your team is literally throwing themselves down in front of the tanks. Tiananmen Square all over again. The man in front of the tank stopping him.
Exactly. So there we go. Overall, Skell definitely maybe making a mistake there. And well, look, at the end of the day, you can't really rest on that. That was a very, very long game. There was lots of plays throughout it. You can't really say, I guess, that singular play lost Team Efficiency the game, because you could say that, well, anything could have lost them the game. The fact that they didn't push in, 30 seconds earlier, lots of stuff like that. Overall, it was a fantastic game to watch there. I really liked the AMX 1390 of Meltdown. Really making some big plays there, kind of distracting the AMX 50B on 2 runs around the bottom of the church there, and that's valuable time that he's just wasted.
So a really great series and such a nail-biting finish as well. You couldn't have asked for a better one. Vicetone, Mr. Batchat himself, utilizing that tank to take out the 15B. It was Pathfinder in that 1390 who was just such a nuisance. And you can see Skell darts back out, gets shot from Safi, I do believe it was, and that was the last seconds of the game where Skell came roaring around the corner to his demise.
There we go. So, the end of it, Pang up the top, 4.6 thousand damage. Bohan with 4.4k, JT 3.7k. It's Mouse City there. AMX 50B's up there as well. It's exactly what we expect, the AMX 50B. I mean, it does have a very high average damage throughout this season as well, something around the... what's that, 2,000 mark. And yeah, look, everyone individually, I think, played pretty well. Everyone makes mistakes, obviously, like even that AMX 50B versus Vicetone issue, that was something which, if the AMX 50B had hit one more shot for Team Efficiency, then Vicetone might have been dead. And again, that might have changed the course of the game. But
who knows, Alex?
Who knows?
That game just had so many kind of like little tangents that if split-second decision-making had gone one way or the other, we could be singing praise for a different squad. But Meltdown, at the end, they played it all perfectly. It was a great game to watch, great game to cast, and I'm sure a great game for them to play. And you know what I'm thinking here, Alex? You know what I'm coming to a realization about the mouse meta? I don't think it's as slow as teams are playing it right now. I think there's definitely going to be some viable, quick pushes coming through here because
100%.
we're seeing teams winning
what
by
Meltdown did.
timing them out.
Yep.
That's going to mean that teams can't wait 7 minutes doing nothing. They actually have to be proactive on the game. Valiant didn't get a single point of damage in a 10-minute game. That can't be happening. Even though they won, it can't be happening, right? That shouldn't be happening. He shouldn't be pressured. Because all that says to me is that he was never pressured to fire a shot.
That was, like Valiant, exactly. I don't have words for that, but he shouldn't have dealt 0 damage.
He shouldn't be able to win dealing 0 damage in a mouse is what I'm getting at. Just no one was pressuring him, so he never had to fight.
Exactly. But look, at the end of the day, it is a Meltdown win, and I think we can probably both agree that Meltdown did deserve the win in that series.
Oh, yeah, they played better.
They did play better. Team efficiency just not quite on the money tonight. Never really winning an attack half.
No.
You know, not looking that good there on Himmelsdorf at all, to be honest. Like, and that Himmelsdorf should have been a map that they'd won. And the Himmelsdorf attack, you've got to give it to Meltdown. They played really, really well.
Oh, they did.
Really, really well.
Excellently.
So, yeah.
I don't know. It was such a close game. I would have loved to have seen it go all the way and come down to Cliff. Because wouldn't have that just been a breath of fresh air after seeing such a heavy mouse game?
Oh my god, look at JT's average damage dealt.
That's insane,
oh my
Alex.
god, 4k damage dealt by JT. That is ridiculous.
We
Over
said he
the
was
course
on
of
the
8
downward
games.
swing at the start of the show, Alex. But he's turned up tonight, my friend.
He's like, if you think of that in terms of, you know, bat chats, he's killed more than, well, I think it's more than 2 bat chats a game on average.
Isn't that insane?
Oh.
Isn't that insane? He's really going to be padding his stats, making his way back up to the top of the table there. Granovsky as well. Both the 2 big damage dealers doing huge damage. Got to respect it.
Yep. And even Skell there in his little tier 8s has made an impact.
Valiant, despite being in the...
yeah,
I think he had a few 0 damage games, actually.
Honestly, Valiant, since they brought him on, you know, struggle, I think is the word to describe
It's interesting because since they brought him on, they've never looked better.
Well, that's right.
I know, it's weird, isn't it? It's just kind of like yin and yang, where you've got like they're on top, but every game we look, Valiant's struggling to keep up.
And look, to be fair, sometimes, you know, players in a team can have a role that's not really reflected so much in stats, you know.
Of course.
If Valiant, say, was you know, helping call in game, or if he was helping them come up with their strategies and theory craft them, then that's just as valuable as, you know, dealing as much damage as JT.
I think even more so in a series like this, where the Cerebral game was on the next level, where it all came down to Himmels, of course, but so many of those maps were won on those decision-making abilities, not just rushing in and clipping out a tank that you caught off guard. It's all about rotations, understanding where your opponents are, hitting those nice blind shots as well to scope people out, just pretty much knowing your opponent well.
Exactly. I mean, we saw that first half there of Himmelsdorf. That was won as soon as we saw those tanks from team efficiency push up the hill.
Look, really great win out of Meltdown. Knew it was going to come down to the wire. Little bit earlier win than we expected. Thought it'd be a 5-4 either way, but a great game. And another great game coming up. We have Horseman taking on B Gaming. So if you've been waiting around for that one, don't go anywhere. We're going to go to a quick 10-minute break, but when we come back, more tank in action.